This is DK and Psycho from TacoYaki Gaming. I ain't anime.
Always something. Always something.
Yeah. And welcome to Muchly Ketchup episode 75.
Good Lord, 75.
Yeah, we are going to be talking about the upcoming shows for summer of 2021.
So I guess to begin, I mean, we were just discussing it, but I mean, what are your thoughts in general over this season before we dive into it?
So I was talking with another person who I know in real life that's into anime, and I hadn't seen them in a while, so I was like, "Are you watching anything?" And he's like, "Yeah." He ended up like, I don't know, it's like this weird path that like some people go. It's like they're into nothing, like Asian media related, and then they get into like shonen anime, and then they like they're starting with like Dragon Ball Z or something like that, and then they split off into like a couple other genres, and then they go to Korean dramas. And
that's an interesting departure and
yeah.
roundabout way of going through it, but sure.
Yeah, and it's weird because like I took that path back in like 03, 04, and then my friend who got me into Japanese like music and stuff like that, we kind of switched. Like I was in the what was it? I got into Korean dramas, and then I got into Korean music, and then he switched from Japanese dramas to Korean dramas, and it was like this weird thing where we were kind of, I don't know, I guess tired of anime, and then got into dramas, and then that kind of faded out, and then now I'm back into anime. But yeah, so it was kind of weird that like somebody who I don't even talk to about Korean dramas at all, he like is into that, and I was kind of asking like, well, first I laughed because it was like a pattern that I did not expect from him, and then he was saying, yeah, like this season isn't really all that great, and I was like, yeah, last season was amazing. This season I can't, like off the top of my head, I couldn't pull up a lot of different shows that I was talking about, and now this summer season coming up, I'm like, I was going through all the trailers, and at first I was like, yep, nah, and then for like 30 minutes of trailer, I was like, how long is this list? I'm like, am I only? I ended up still with like my regular number of over 10, but
I don't know. Your list has gone way beyond that at certain points.
Yeah. Usually I'm like, I like 21 out of the 60 shows, and this time I'm like, I like 14 or so. And it's like I'll watch the first episode of everything. It's just the shows that I'm like, oh, I have a lot of opinions, is not where it usually is. So yeah, comparing winter to upcoming summer, it's
it's night and day, and the funny thing about that is usually it's reversed.
Yeah.
Usually the summer's like the big blockbuster, ginormous, anime season coming out, but this season just seemed just so blah.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what it is. There's some good shows, like you had mentioned.
No, there is. Don't get me wrong. You just normally you would find like summer is usually the time frame where they have like the second seasons or their continuation for a lot of like hit series.
Yeah.
This would be the time when next season for Attack on Titan would come out, and the next season for My Hero would come out, and the next season for like all of these big blockbuster, big name shows. I mean, like if they were to have brought out like season 2 for Demon Slayer, it wouldn't have surprised me.
Yeah.
For like summer, because like that would be the time frame to do it. Like that's usually the way it is. But this season just, I mean, we get Slime.
Yeah.
We get Slime, but other than that, was there any other like continuating like big blockbuster? I think they were all just new titles.
Yeah, so as far as big blockbuster, I would say no. But like shows that I'm like, yay, Miss Kobayashi's back.
Okay, yeah, Grammy. Okay, I will say that, yes. And I am also hyped for that. But yeah, we'll get to that. But I mean, yeah, it was just in
Yeah, as
general,
far
this
as
seems like a very weird summer season.
yeah, yeah, usually like big blockbusters that like everybody's excited about.
Oh yeah,
Then it's
like
like, oh, one of my favorite shows
the
is coming.
general public who doesn't even know about anime in general is like, oh yeah, I heard that's coming out this, you know, you're like, wait, how did you know about that? Oh, I work in some place where merchandise comes out, and they're like, oh, bring out the Attack on Titan stuff. It's about to have the next season come, you know,
Yeah,
crazy
or
stuff
like,
like.
oh, my friend's really excited about it.
Yeah, I overheard
Yeah,
it from my friend over a conversation or something like that. So,
yeah.
but anyways,
Yeah. So today we have 19 shows we're going to be talking about, and the first show is. I thought I changed the title for this one. Um, Standing on a Million Lives, season 2.
so I feel like we had just talked about this one not too long ago. It wasn't it like just like 2 or 3 seasons back that the ending of this one came out.
I.
I feel like that happened.
It was recent.
Yeah, I feel like it was pretty recent.
Yeah.
So I know back when I think the last season ended, because of the I was iffy. I know remember before about watching the next season because this was one of those shows where it's not bad, it's just not great. You know, this is a decent fantasy isekai situation, you know, sort of almost in the vein of uh shoot, sword art, because the fact that they're actually going back and forth between real life and the fantasy world, you know.
Is this the one where like the guy and the two girls got trapped and they had missions?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah.
I think the only reason why I had a necessary like thought process of, oh, I might want to see what happens this next season was only because of the ending. I remember the ending had something where I was like, okay, you've got my attention now.
So it was more of like a intrigue, interest thing, or like a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I think it was more of a just like an intrigue being like, I wouldn't have necessarily have normally have been like, oh, I really want to continue on this because it had me hooked throughout the entirety of what I watched. But it was a matter of the way that they ended the first season. So I guess, and in general, it almost made it seem like the first season was more of a lengthy setup to go into the second season.
Okay.
So it's like, you know, so that's why I'm like, all right, you know what? If that's the way you meant it to be, okay. I'll buy that, and we'll start off, you know, we'll go into it thinking that in that same vein or whatever. But I don't know, it's just like I'll give it a couple episodes just to see if that's the way that pans out. But the, how lengthy that first season setup was makes me feel like I'm just like sitting here going, do I really want to subject myself through that in case they're like, nope, this is just the pacing and how this is all going to pan out. Sorry, this is the way it is. And I'm just sitting here going, damn it, why did I waste my freaking time watching it? I knew this was going to happen. Like, I knew this was the way it was, you know.
And they're like, ooh, wait till the end. You're gonna be so interested.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna be like, you suck. You're sons of bitches. How dare you toy with my emotions that way? So I don't know. like I said, it's not a bad show. I think when it came out originally, there were just so many other shows that were better
Mhm.
that I'm looking at it going, eh. There's just I could easily rewatch if I really was in the mood for like fantasy, I can easily rewatch another fantasy and be perfectly fine with that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But like I said, I don't know. I'm gonna give it a shot, which is why it's on my list. I'm gonna go like I'll give it our customary 3 episodes. If within that 3 episodes I feel like I'm being played, and we're just right back the way we were, I'm not gonna be happy about it, and I will probably say that I'm going to drop it. But again, we'll see.
um, yeah, I watched the first episode of last season, so as soon as I saw him again, I'm like, oh yeah, that show.
Mm-hmm. See,
It's
you're
still
just
on the
like,
list. I'm just like, it's still on the list, the backlog.
so.
Yeah, good. The next show we're gonna be talking about is Boktachi no Remake or Remake Our Life.
Did we both have this one?
Yes.
This one seems interesting. I'm really keen on this one.
Yeah. What did I say to that? Let's see. This has time travel in it, which is always cool. I haven't seen a show that's
if done well.
well, I've never seen like a bad time travel show. It's like it's either okay time travel or really good or like pretty decent time travel.
I don't know. Maybe my standards are a little higher.
Okay. Then
Because like I usually will see something that I've never found a middle ground. I've usually found something that's like really good, or it's just terrible. Like there's so many plot holes and loopholes inside of this their idea of time travel. I'm like, whose idea was this? You know. So come on, you gotta have something better than this. But anyways,
then it's a show that has a close group of friends, and that always is a setup for either love triangles or something terrible happening to like one of them. So
I feel like it's gonna be more of the second one.
so
Just from the synopsis and from the little bit of the trailer of it, I kind of feel like that, but we'll see.
yeah. So from what I saw, I'm like, okay, it checks a couple boxes for me. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna definitely check it out. This one was made by Studio Feel, and they
Diffuse.
oh no, they did love comedy and Island and Hinamon City. Ah! Okay.
Well, we know where this one's probably gonna rank on your list then.
I'm really gonna like it, and it's really gonna hurt me. Uh, oh god.
Studio
Okay.
Feel lives up to its name.
Yeah. This.
So while Taco's over there just kind of relenting on that, I'll go ahead and read the synopsis for it. Hishiba Kuyua is a 28-year-old video game developer. With his company going bankrupt and him losing his job, he returns to his hometown. Looking at the success of creators of his age, he finds himself regretting his life decisions as he lay distressed on his bed. But when he opens his eyes, he finds that he has traveled 10 years back to the time before he entered college. Will he finally make things right? This is a story about a failed person who is given a second opportunity to follow his dreams. Now, the other flip side of this, especially since we now know this is by Studio Feels, is that I'm hoping, well, as a way of looking at time travel, because everyone looks at time travel as like a fix-all. It's like, oh, I can go back in time and fix the mistakes that I did, or change this, make better decisions, or change the decisions I made, or whatever. I kind of hope that this one's a situation where, like, yes, he seems like he's in a bad spot, but he actually is better than he thinks he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, his situation isn't as dire as he's thinking it is.
Mm-hmm.
And he has, like, maybe there is an interest, a love interest in this, because maybe there's somebody who actually, because of the decisions he made, he met along the way and became very close friends with, and a potential love interest who was there for him when he, you know, at his low point, but because he made himself quote unquote better, that
Oh no!
relationship never occurred,
Ah,
and the relationship he could have had no longer exists, and the one that he now has is maybe with one of the other people, which is actually worse off than when he was in the other position he was in. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So time travel is a sticky situation, and
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of people who end up taking it as, like I said, an end all fix all sort of situation. But I would love in one of these freaking situations in time travel where it's not like, oh, I can make things better by going back in time and changing the decisions I made. It's oh, I changed the decisions I made, but I'm not really better. I'm just worse in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel
So,
like this. Yeah, I feel
yeah, go
like the
ahead.
story's gonna take more of that place where it's like he's kind of trying to reconstruct his life to be better.
Mm-hmm.
There was another show that kind of did something similar, Relife, where
Mm-hmm.
basically like adults, adults that were part of this company took this like pill or something like that, and they ended up like reversing in age and then going back to high school again instead of like reliving their life.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I like that like scenario better. So when I was looking at the synopsis, even though it was kind of showing like him kind of like replaying things or mentioning that he's like gone back in time, I kind of wish that it would go the route of like having the freedom of being able to do it again and not like focused on fixing all of the issues.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because most people don't consider the fact it's like, yes, you can change your past, you know, given the opportunity. It's like, okay, if you change your past, yes, you can steer yourself away from the potential pitfalls that you see coming at you now that you're aware of future information of how things will progress if you do go down that path.
mhm.
But by taking that path, you're now closing yourself off from the other things that occurred when you took that path.
And opening yourself up to new, possibly worse
New,
situations.
possibly worse situations. Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't make that consideration. It's just a matter of, it's like, well, do I do that? Do I not do that? It's like, but yeah, you're changing, but you're not growing as a person or making things better just because you're just changing the outcome of it, essentially.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting conundrum, and this is one of those things where, because so many of them decide, oh, you know, they're going to make their lives better, and I'm like, can we have at least one where it's like, yes, they changed, but it's not necessarily for the better. You just, you know, it's like, what was the old saying? You everyone has issues and everyone has problems. It's a matter of what we ourselves are willing to put up with,
Mm.
you know, and by doing so, you know, we grow as a person. But if your issues and problems you don't understand, everyone's got them no matter which path you choose. There's going to be a pitfall. Your decision as a human and as a person should be relying upon what you're willing to put up with and what you understand is going to happen. If you can understand and agree with it, then it should be fine. But if you know, and if you understand, and if you're willing to put up with the consequences because you understand them, then that's fine. You know, if his, you know, and maybe it's again. I'm hoping it's not Brund, you know, and I'm hoping it's not what is best scenario to say this. That was it. The X-Men Days of Future Past, where Wolverine went back in time.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, don't get me wrong. Their situation at that time was completely dire, and I get that. They wanted to change the future for what it, you know, away from what it was. But when he got back to the present time frame, everything was sunshine and rainbows. Everyone was alive. Everyone was happy with where they were at and what was going on. And I'm like, that's not realistic.
Yeah.
That's not realistic. It shouldn't be completely wiped away. You should have some issues.
Yeah.
You're just not as bad as you were, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. This is where, like I said, this is where I'm too nitpicky when it comes to time travel. I know, I get that, but come on, I've seen enough of it in my time. I'm like, come on, let's add some realism to it. Let's shake it up a bit. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, there's been like during this season, there's 2 shows that deals with time travel.
Really?
Yeah, Vivi is one that has like a robot.
That's right. You were telling me about that. Yeah.
And then there was one show that I watched and I didn't even talk about it. I realized that like a day after the show, Revengers. It's
does that deal with time travel?
Yeah, well,
the Tokyo Revengers you're talking about, right?
Yeah. I meant to talk about that one, but yeah. So in that one, the main character, I guess, he went back to the past and tried tried to fix a situation because somebody that he knew died, but then he didn't get to live out the whole thing. Like he had a certain time period, and all of a sudden, poof, he's back in the future. And then because of one of the decisions that he made, somebody saved him, but it still didn't fix the situation. And then now they have to deal with like how to go forward. So it's kind of like how you say, even though you fix one thing, it doesn't fix everything.
Yeah.
So that would be a plus for that show.
You look at so many popular, things in media right now, from, the X-Men movie, the Avengers movie, all these these situations where it's like, okay, yeah, you made things better, but there's always consequences to your actions, regardless of whether or not what is the old saying? The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah.
I mean, there's gotta be consequences. You can't just say, "Oh, I made everything better," and by changing one decision. One decision's never that pinnacle of a thing.
Yeah.
You're always going to have some sort of drawback to it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and even on a lot of shows, what's that show that the people didn't die on the plane, and then fate made sure that they were
Final Destination.
Yeah, like even if you pop back in the past and fix one thing, that doesn't guarantee that 20 years in the future it's still going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, man, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
and unfortunately, that movie is one of the reasons why I will never drive behind a trailer full of logs ever. Which, where I'm at, you will be surprised, that happens more times than not, where I have that as a situation, and I'm like, nope, not gonna happen. Nope.
Yeah, that's. But yeah, so we shall see how this one handles time travel. I'm looking forward to how they handle this one. It's a situation that we've seen before, and I'm curious if they do an interesting twist on it. Right. The next show we're going to talk about is Cheats. Man, I put I spent like an extra 5 minutes by like going through all of them and making sure they at least have like the second name is in English, so I don't have to keep pulling up the anti-chart name. And then when I rendered out all the things, none of them changed. Cheap pharmacist, slow life, making a drugstore in another world.
And I know this one was mine. So this one's done by EMT Squared. Which... Oh, they did Kuma Kuma Bear. Oh, they did Assassin's Pride too, which was not bad.
Yes.
Assassin's Pride was pretty good. So I mean they're pretty, and honestly, when thinking about this one wasn't like necessarily at the top of my list. It was kind of one of those. I'd give it a shot just to see what's up with it, because all of their previous shows, looking at their backlog or whatever, nothing really stands out to me. It's all just like, yeah, I gave it a watch and just to kind of see what was it about or what happened. But I'm also, what is it? We're currently watching the that one. Which one? I maxed my level or whatever, which is not necessarily like the greatest show ever, but it's funny and it's cutesy enough to just be like, oh, it's just it's a relaxing, nice watch, which is where I kind of put this one at. I'm not seeing like this one's going to be like an, oh my god, this is an amazing show situation, but I'm more or less going, yeah, I'll watch it just to see, hey, what's going on. So this one is done by EMT Squared, and the synopsis for it is, corporate drone Reggie is transported to a fantasy world where he discovers that he can craft potions at a higher level than his rank should allow. Taking advantage of this, Reggie makes a tidy profit enough to open his own drugstore. An elf who can't aim his bow, give him some eye drops. A dragon who accidentally breathes fire, cough syrup. Reggie's new relaxing life of making medicine for fantasy creatures is about to begin. So, the premise of it is sort of goofy, but I kind of like it as well. Because it almost seems to me, it reminds me of two things, actually. It reminds me of that one show where it was a cafe that had a door that would go to other.
Oh yeah.
And you would find people who would come in to eat, but they all had different tastes and they all had their own little stories or whatever. So one, it kind of reminds me of that, and then two, because he's giving out medicine to help people, it almost reminds me of the Doctor to Monsters or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, because not Interview with Monster Girls. It was the one where it was the doctor who treated monsters.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, like the one who treated the centaur and
the centaur. I remember that one.
Yeah. So, I kind of feel like it's that way because it's someone came from our world who has an understanding of basic medicine. I mean, anyone can have an understanding of like, oh, my eyes hurt or I can't see. Oh, well, let's give you some eye drops, just so that way you can, it'll moisturize your eyes so you're not like dry-eyed, and that's probably why your aim is off, because you keep, you can't focus or aim down your sights just because of that. So it seems rather mundane, but at the same time, this is a fantasy world. They wouldn't think of that because it's not their medicine. It's not how they perceive things. They're like, oh, potions. And I mean, that's our perception of it. And I'm sure that's what they're going with or whatever. But, I find that interesting because whenever someone goes to another world, especially in a fantasy situation, I always like the ones that tend to bring with them knowledge from our world and have it work to their advantage in the other world. Someone who has an understanding of how guns work or whatever, and is like, oh, hey, if I create this powder and I make I have the metal crafting that I can have someone else do for me, and I can figure out something. Yeah, it looks rather steampunkish, but it actually works in a matter of, hey, this is a gun. And no one in this world would have thought about this because the idea of putting these things together in this order is not something they would have considered. I like things like that because I'm like, oh, yeah, well then how does that give you the advantage? How does that make it better for you in that regards? Because then you're like someone who will do that and be like, oh, now I'll add my own spin to it from this world because they're like, now I'll have there's that one anime where he had like a bag full of bullets on his side or whatever, and he basically had it to where whenever the rounds were spent from the gun, it would auto reload itself. And I'm like, now that's cool. You're taking something from our world and you're taking something from their world and you're making something even better from the sum of the two parts.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, I'm in. I mean, I don't necessarily know if that's going to be the case here, but it seems like, since he's saying he's making potions at a higher level, and then the idea of like eye drops and cough syrup, I'm like, maybe he's crafting these potions with the intent of what what my understanding of medicine is. So it's like, oh, I understand cough syrup, so I can actually craft a potion like that, with some simple ingredients. Here, cough syrup.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait, what is this? They're like, oh, don't drink the whole thing. Just drink like little bits here, and eventually your throat problem will go away.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's again things like that. I'm like, this is the reason why, like I said, not expecting a whole lot from this one. Not being like, oh my god, this is going to be the next amazing thing since Demon Slayers or something like that. No, don't see that happening. But I do see this as being one interesting and two just kind of a nice, relaxing anime to just chill with because I don't necessarily see the stakes as being super high, but he's dealing with dragons, so there's at least some sort of like interest thing going on here.
Okay.
So
yeah, because for pharmaceuticals and stuff like that, you have to have like a knowledge of like chemistry and biology.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see him bringing those two skills over, and like before they would have something like a medicine man or something like that knows different herbs or something like that to mix together, and they're like, this will help, like drink this. And because it's like it's not super concentrated or like specifically engineered or like a lot of the pharmaceuticals that we have, I see how he would like put it together and be like, no, don't drink the whole thing because this is not like the medicine man's cough suppressant thing. Like, no, this is if you drink this whole thing, bad things will happen. Kind of.
Yeah, you're like you're trying to go to sleep for a very long time.
Yeah.
You're gonna knock yourself freaking out if you try to drink this whole thing.
Yeah. So
I just imagine him like giving them the vial of whatever it is, and then being like giving them a spoon as well, and being like, "All right, fill this spoon with what's in here, and then take it every 4 to 8 hours." What? You mean I can't just drink? No, don't drink the whole thing. It's a Baby Groot situation.
Yeah. Like, take this in the morning and then take it in the evening. Because telling you 4 hours, like, what's 4 hours?
Yeah, you're like I'm curious to see how well he handles that, because it's like I would have probably caught myself being like, oh, take it every 4 to 8 hours, and being like, because then you'll get that look and be like, oh, god damn it, no, all right, in the morning and in the evening, go ahead and take it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
that sounds like it's gonna be pretty interesting. I saw this trailer and I looked at I don't know, it's like I was like, maybe. Like I sample everything, so I'm gonna check out the first episode, but it didn't jump out at me. So
yeah, like I said, I'm definitely not expecting like sitting here, messaging you at like 10 o'clock at night and being like, oh my god, did you watch this? This is amazing.
Yeah, so we shall see. The next episode we're gonna be talking. The next show we're gonna be talking about is
In the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Day after 5 the battle or battle in 5 seconds after meeting.
And I think this is one we both had.
Yes. So I chose this one because the art style seems familiar.
Of course
Like, but it's like as soon as I saw it, I'm like, this reminds me of something. Like the like skip the show. I see notes that I haven't read. No, wait a minute. Yeah, so this show seems like it's gonna be dark or violent or both, and it reminds me of another show that was dark, violent, or both. I can't remember exactly what show it was, but it just seemed really intense, and I'm like, uh-oh, and I need to find out like what that other show it reminds me of. Why did you choose this?
I mean, the synopsis for it is what, as usual, I'm always more for the storyline behind it than I am for anything dealing with the actual like looks of it. Though, I mean, to be fair, I usually will at least look at the actual looks of it to make sure that it's not like full on CGI or anything like that. Because that's usually where I draw the line and be like, no, not happening. Which I get so much flack for. You have no idea. So for me, I mean, I'll just go through the synopsis. It was just a usual morning. Ikari Shiranagi, a high schooler who loves games in Konpito, Japanese sweets, has suddenly been dragged into battlefield by a mysterious girl who calls herself Mion. The participants are told they are erased from the family register, involved in an experiment, and gained certain powers. Akira is determined to win the game with his newfound powers and destroy the organization. Armed with a power no one expects and his brain skills, the new period of intelligence battle to begin. Battle of begins. So my whole thing, as far as that goes, is I think what really cinched it for me was the final line. So, granted, armed with power no one expects. Okay, that's always one of the things I'm like, what's power? What's going on? I mean, okay, yeah, you drained my curiosity. But the real thing that hinged it for me was, and his brain skills. Now, mind you, they have brain in quotation, so I'm not sure if they're talking about that as, his intelligence or whatever, but it does say the new period of intelligence battle of begins. So I'm hoping, I guess, in a way, that this seems like a battle royale sort of situation, where he's being put into a situation where he's having to fight for his life and whatnot. But I'm hoping that because of how they worded that last line, that yes, he may have some really interesting or unique power, but one, it's not OP. We're not talking about somebody who can just walk through, battlefields and come out unscathed or whatever.
Because he has this hand that can cancel anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, even him who had the hand who can cancel anything, he still had his. There was a definite downside.
Yes.
So okay, so I'll amend that. If he has something that is essentially kind of OP, there's a definite downside to that where he has to be like really careful on how he approaches things.
Yeah.
He's not, basically I'm just like, he's not One Punch Man.
Yeah. There's been like this whole scenario where if it is a battle royale, the main character has like a special skill that nobody knows, except for like somebody a couple episodes in. because
they start figuring out what it is that he can do or whatever.
Yeah, like so, like we'll meet somebody who's like knows exactly what's going on. Maybe they're one of the people that's behind the scenes and they know what skill he has before like everybody else does.
Yeah.
And also, the main guy teams up with a blonde-haired girl in red is also like something that happens a bunch of different times.
And so continuing with that though, is my hopes for that though is that not only does he have a power that is not necessarily OP, there would have a different downside to it or whatever, but he has to come at these challenges or these battle situations intelligently.
Yes.
Like his whole focus, his whole thing is, yes, like it's almost 50-50. He has a power that's unique and something that no one expects, so he utilizes that to his advantage because no one expects it. But his way of winning in the end is through his actual understanding and intelligence of the situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean that to me, if that's the case, then what they're going down to, they have me hooked. You know, immediately I'm like, I'm in. Let's do this. Let's see where this goes. And I'm sure it's going to be a situation where at the end of each one episode, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, I want another episode because I want to see what the hell happens. What did he do? How did he figure this out? You know, I'm like, you know, racking my brain. And I love those. I hate those and I love those at the same time. Don't get me wrong. But I hate them because I love them because I hate them kind of situation. But I mean, again, it's an up in the air. They left it, and now this is one of those where I've always complained about AniList being very vague when it comes to situations like these. But I think that this one was intentionally left vague because giving that information away would be more telling in regards to what potentially could happen. So I guess, you know, it's more of like, since the main protagonist doesn't necessarily maybe know the full extent of what he can do, you as the viewer also don't know the full extent of what he can do.
Yeah.
And you're both kind of along for the ride. So if that's the case, then yeah, I agree with that and whatnot. But yeah, in general, I mean, that to me was kind of where I was at in wanting to see this show. Yeah, I will say this is done by Vega Entertainment
or Synergy SP.
Really hasn't. Vega hasn't done a whole lot. Synergy.
Yeah, the stuff that they've done doesn't look like this at all.
Oh, Synergy's done a little bit more.
Yeah.
And they have done one fantasy one that I will agree with in that regards, which is the Hachinan Sorewa. God, where's the English translation of that? I know this. Oh, the Eighth Sun.
Yeah. Okay.
And I will say, I mean, was that one of the better isekai ones? No, but it wasn't bad either. Like, I would definitely put that ranked above certain other ones for sure. So yeah, no, I'm curious. I'm really, if that's the expectations, that's the bar that we're setting for that, then it definitely has my attention.
Yeah, style-wise, I was looking through, and I'm like, all I see is Initial D, and I'm like, man, I don't think I've watched Initial D, so I don't know what this style is coming from that I recognize.
I mean, yeah, it definitely has a very unique style to it.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh. So I don't know if it's like maybe it's character designs that I'm getting from something.
The lighting behind the she looks kind of like a witch almost.
Yeah, it looks like she's at a hat. I'm like, no. But yeah. So this is I'm curious to see how this one's gonna play out.
It's interesting. She's got like monitors behind her too in the trailer. I'm like, are those actual factional monitors or are those some sort of like magical viewing screens or something like that?
Yeah. Also, I like her voice. Like, it's not too cutesy and it's not too like cat-like. It's like,
oh, she is a cat too.
She is a cat?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because at one point, and 12 seconds into it, you see I can see her ears, and two, I see a tail going back and forth.
Okay.
So she's a cat,
Okay.
which is where they have that toothy look from her whenever she's got her mouth open.
Ah. Okay.
You can almost barely see the fang there, just a little bit.
Yeah. As far as like cat voices go, I like that she didn't say nya, because if she would have said nya, I would be like, oh, is she a cat girl?
Mm-hmm.
So
So it's there, but it's not like upplayed or anything like that.
yeah. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I like the way they handled that in the trailer. I don't know what's gonna happen in the episode. Episode might go full.
So wait,
yeah.
what's the battle in 5 seconds after meeting? Okay. Huh.
But yeah, I'm curious about this.
Yeah, no, I think it should be at least interesting, if nothing else.
So the next show we're gonna be talking about is yes, it alphabetical did it weird. Like my notes said this one before the last one. This one is called D Side Traveler.
Yeah, I don't know. This one just didn't. I don't know. Like there's a fantasy element to this. I guess to me the reason why I didn't have this one on my list is because the synopsis for it seemed a little bit like all over the place a little bit, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, anyways, you go for it.
Okay. So the reason I picked this one is because it has alternate worlds, and the way that they showed it in the trailer looks kind of interesting. Um, like you can do alternate worlds bad,
Oh yeah.
like that one show we had talked about with the monster frogs and monster wolves or whatever. Like that is a bad alternate world.
I mean, it's like if people don't understand alternate worlds. Literally, yes, you could just change one thing, and maybe it'll have a big impact. Maybe it won't. But you, as the creator of it, need to kind of like find a reasoning behind it, sort of situation, and keep with that same theme, I guess, which is what I feel like most of them have a hard time doing.
Yeah. The weapons that I saw, they remind me of the weapons from God Eater, where it's like a staff with like some crazy thing attached to it. Like maybe it's interchangeable or something. I don't know. Like it looked interesting. And then there's a cat girl in there, like a mostly cat girl, not like a girl with cat ears. And it's borderline a mascot character, and I'm like, I don't know. It's like
Triss.
I think so.
That's just I was just going through the
Character name.
character names, yeah.
So it's like that character slightly like off-putting to me. Like it reminds me of
considering the fact that looking at the characters list for all the main characters look 100% human, and it almost look like you could meet them on the street at any given time, almost anywhere, honestly. Yeah. And then you have this one who literally has full-on cat features.
Yeah.
Fur, ears. I mean, we're like 2 steps away from being like, are you just a walking, talking cat? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like, there's is it ReZero? Yeah, ReZero is like dying and repeating, and like sometimes going back in the past a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the that little cat mascot, like.
Oh yeah, the cat spirit.
He's fine.
Yeah.
Until he turned like 6 feet tall and was like the dude was like resting on him or something, and like he had turned to like human sized, and then he was like no, no.
What about when he was like 60 stories tall?
So that was terrifying. But like when he turned like 6 feet tall and was like walking around like a human, I'm like that. No,
Yeah, but they hardly like that was something they hardly kept.
yeah, but it's like seeing him as like the little cute. You're like, he's so cute, and you're like, he's terrifying, and then you're like, change the other sizes. I don't like that size.
Cute, terrifying, or disgusting.
Yeah, and I'm like, so the cat girl, she like reminds me of that form of his name, whatever his name is. I can't remember his name, but yeah. So when I see her, I'm like, no, like smaller or not at all. Like I don't. But yeah. So this one is done by Sansei and Sanzigen, and they have done Bang Dream, which is Idols. Um, more Bang Dream. uh, more Bang Dream. Oh my god. Monster Strike, which I'm not sure if that's a movie. Schwarzenmarken, which is a mech show. Bubuki Buranki, which is a CG like action show. It's monochrome. I think it's CG also.
I'm not seeing a whole lot that I would say was.
Arslan Senki. Did you watch that one?
I don't know. I'm not seeing a whole lot that even I recognize, honestly.
And then Black Rock Shooter. So it's like they've done some shows that are like action packed. A lot of the other ones that they've done are like not what this genre looks to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Like, and even the trailer, I was like borderline, but I had to talk about the little girl, and then I had to like, yeah, the weapons look cool. So, yeah. The story is set in Shibuya and centers around Ryuhei. As a child, he looked up to his older brother, but watched him perish in a mysterious accident right before his eyes. Now a high schooler, Ryuhei shows no outward signs of the trauma of that nightmarish incident, and spends most of his leisure time kickboxing. One day while kickboxing, he encounters a creature that calls itself Triss and is bitten by it, resulting in him having a strange dream. See, just stayed away.
This is what happens when you allow strange cat creatures to get too close to you.
And then also like the picture that they have on Annie's chart is like the background of the background of the header is like what? So yeah, I just want to know what this is. There's like things that I've like little elements that I've seen before, and I want to know how it all ties in. But yeah. The next show we're gonna be talking about is Genji Shuji Yusha no Okoku Saint Kinki. How a realist hero built the kingdom.
Was this one? This one was mine, right?
I think so.
Let's see here. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, so this one. Wait, am I looking at the right one? Yes, I am looking at the right one. This one is done by JC Staff.
Yay!
Yeah. So, oh god, how many have we gone through so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we finally get a JC Staff. Good lord, it took too long. So done by JC Staff, so you know already. Production value. Huh?
Index.
Yes, you already know we're already on board, at least as far as that goes. Um, this story, so the synopsis for this one is: Oh, hero with the cliched line, Kazuyasuma found himself summoned to another world, so easy guy, of course, and his adventure, another world, and his adventure did not begin. After he presents his plan to strengthen the countries economically and militarily, the king cedes the throne to him, and Soma finds himself saddled with ruling the nation. What's more, his betrothed to the king's daughter now. In order to get the country back on its feet, Soma calls the wise, the talented, and the gifted to his side. 5 people gather before the newly crowned Soma. Just what are the many talents and abilities they possess? What path will his outlook as a realist take Soma and the people of his country down? A revolutionary transferred to another world administrative fantasy series starts here.
Administrative. No.
So, okay, I know that doesn't sound. This sounds kind of strange, but my take on this: one, I like the fact that we're taking the typical isekai and spinning it on its head. Here is so as I've been told one time before, there are no new ideas. There are only the same ideas told in a different way or changed like a slight detail up upon. So the main story is an isekai, and we're all used to that. So isekais follow along the same arc of the person gets transferred to another world. There's a problem. Usually they have to go battle some demon lord or whatever it is. Um, sometimes you get the change in the trope is that they never get to the final battle. Like if we go for, oh god, what the hell is that one isekai where it was, yeah, yeah. All I have to do is say that, and you're like, Konosuba, yes.
Done by JC Staff.
Yeah. So, Konosuba, where they never even get to that freaking point of that because they never leave the goddamn main freaking town that they started in, and have all sorts of antics in between that. Um, so here's the twist on this one is that I guess he gets sent to this other world. He is the hero. He's trying to help, but so he comes from our world, and I guess his understanding, he has a better understanding than they do of military and economic sort of things. So I could see this. He tries. Probably this is going to happen in the first episode. He's going to try to help them, and he sees the issue. He sees a problem before he goes and does his heroic thing or whatever. He's like, hey, let me tell you guys. This is what I think you guys need to be focusing on. This is what you guys need to be doing. And the king probably isn't the greatest king in the world, but he sees the fact that he's like, you know way more about this than I do.
I don't even want this job.
Yeah, he's probably, I don't even, he's like, you know what? We've been declining for like years, decades, ever since I took the throne. Things have been getting worse. And he's like, and your ideas are brilliant. Your ideas,
I was given this position.
yeah, he's probably like, I didn't even want to be here to begin with, or he's so like I could see that going a couple different ways, but the bottom line of it goes is he's just like, you know what, take it. You're now the new king. I christen it so, I make it so because I can't deal with this, and you are far better equipped to deal with it than I can. So there, right there is the twist. Because now, instead of gallivanting off and going off and doing heroic things, he is now stuck inside a castle, inside of this town, or wherever he's at. And, maybe he can go places or whatever, but he's the king. So, of course, he has to go under protection. And if he's already improving the military, I guarantee you there's going to be honor guards and other people who have to go with him now, because he's already made that to a point where, like, well, you need to protect the king or whatever. But the thing that really draws me to it is the fact that he calls for the wise, the talented, and the gifted to his side. So
I wonder if there'll be anybody who's bitter that he took over the position.
Oh, probably. I almost guarantee. But here's the thing. So he calls the wise, the talented to get to his side. 5 people gather before the newly crowned Soma. Just what are their many talents and abilities they possess? My thought is that this is more going to be a character anime. You know, along the same lines, and I know I'm probably stretching here if you try to think of it this way, but almost along the same lines as working. You get where I'm coming
Okay.
from? It's like we have 5 people that he summoned because they're good or they have special abilities, talents, are smart, gifted, or whatever. But he draws them to him because he can't go anywhere. So now all the action and everything, the drama, the things taking place are all happening at the castle. So the necessarily quote unquote conflict, as it were, are going to be the fact that he needs these people because they are talented and gifted, and in order to run a kingdom and not have a revolution or feel like you're going to have issues or problems further on down the line, you need to garner the support of powerful people
Yes.
on your side.
Yes.
So he has to kind of like be like, all right, guys, come on, we'll work with me, we'll do stuff, this, that, and the other thing. But their characteristics on what they're like are probably going to be all over the place.
That's actually a really good way to approach it, because if he just kind of is like, okay, we're going to do things this way, then he'll end up with a lot more bitter people at the
Oh yeah,
kingdom.
he'll end up with a lot of enemies.
Yeah.
But if he has one, because he already said he's improving the military.
Yeah.
2, he's improving the economy. So 2 things. 1, if he's improving the military, he's going to have a good fighting force at his beck and call. 2, if he's improving the economy, the people, the lower people, are going to love him.
Yeah.
And they're not going to want to take up arms against him.
Yeah.
Because he's improving their way of life. Not to say there aren't still going to be bitter people, because I guarantee you, in every situation, which is why I've said, given the opportunity, I've thought to myself, it's like, if someone said, hey, I want you to lead, I want you to be the leader of a country or leader of a town or whatever, mayor or whatever, no.
No.
That's more of a headache than I ever want to come across. Not to say I couldn't do it, but to say I'm going to piss off somebody and they're going to try to make trouble for me or do something. And in these situations like this is more like they're going to try to kill me. So yeah, no, I'm. This is what kind of drove me to this, where I'm like, you kind of you feel like you veer left especially when they say something like, a revolutionary transfer to another world administrative fantasy series starts here. You're like, oh, administrative, that's gonna be boring. What are you gonna do with that? No. But I see there's a lot of room for shenanigans in potential um, potential fun and potential conflicts just based in where he's at. And the fact that it's taking a different approach on an isekai has garnered my attention because of that.
Yeah. As we were going through the synopsis, I was looking at the picture and I was like, why is there a lion man? I'm like, I don't see any other. Oh, wait, there's other animal people. And I'm like, they didn't mention any of that in the synopsis.
Which is funny because looking at the character list, he's not one of the main characters. Maybe he was. I don't know. Or maybe he's one of the 5. Well, no, because he wouldn't be. He's not. If he's not one of the 5 people, I don't know. Unless he's aware.
Ah. And then the guy next to him has horns, which I'm like, is that demons?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, it's very interesting. Like,
well, he has a. So I mean, there's the fantasy aspect is definitely there because like looking through the main cast, I see like a dark elf. I see what looks to be a fox, maybe.
mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, it's this. This seems interesting.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's like humans versus animals, or everybody's just blended, or there's more. Like I don't know. Like there be humans versus humans and stuff. I don't know. Like from the picture, I'm intrigued. When I watched the trailer, I saw that he was kind of like delegating different tasks. Like, okay, anybody who wants to do this, do that, and anybody who wants this, come talk to me. And like he has like he knows how to delegate and like give people tasks and stuff like that. And even like you would see like the commoners or like just people in the village, and like he would say something and they would like perk up and they're like, oh, I'm interested. Like it's kind of cool.
It definitely seems like he has a natural born leadership quality to him.
Yeah.
So, which is probably why the 5 that he had originally, that he draws to him, came to him. So, and I'm liking the fact that it's not. It doesn't seem like it's a. It doesn't seem like it's a harem anime either, which is like one of those tropes I think that a lot of the isekai fantasies fall into.
Yeah.
Is that they'll just default and make it into like a harem sort of a situation where like all 5. If it was that stereotypical way, all 5 of the people he would have come across will all be female or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I see like it seems to me like there's just looking at the he's at least got 1, maybe 2 guys in there.
Yeah.
Potentially 3, because I see a third one in the bottom corner. You got the red-haired guy in the top left, the black-haired guy kind of on the right-hand side, and then bottom right is another guy. So, I mean, and of course I think the lion would probably fall under that as well, but I don't know what side that falls upon. So, again, I'm interested to see. It's definitely one of those things where I'm like, I applaud. I guess this is what I think about is I applaud somebody for going there. I applaud for somebody taking that risk and being like, we're gonna take this is the main situation, but we're gonna make it interesting. And I'm like sitting here going, okay, how are you gonna do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. One thing that I also find interesting is it seems like the harmony of this kingdom with like the leaders and the subjects is going to be the same harmony that like um uh in Slime, how like that kingdom, like everybody's like friendly with everybody, including the leaders.
And I think that's going to be like, I feel like he's going to have to work on that. Like it's not going to be an immediate like everyone's like, oh yeah, no, absolutely, and we're all going to be happy-go-lucky. I feel like because the fact that he's trying to help the military and the economy as he's going through, obviously we're at a low point, so more than likely the commoners in that situation aren't going to be overly trusting of him. So I feel like he's going to have to gain that trust, which is interesting to me. I'm like, all right, I'm on board for that. I mean, and if that's all it ends up being, I'm like, it still would garner my interest just because it's interesting to see how people make those decisions. As I've said before in past animes, it's like I've always watched animes with when people have like really critical decisions on what they need to do. I'll look at that and go, once the decision's been made and I see how what they do, and I'm like, well, would I have made that the same decision? Would I have thought of myself in that situation and been like, yeah, let's do that? Or would I have gone, instead of that, how about we do this instead? So to me, the way that they're going about this, I'm like, all right, yeah, I could definitely see, I could see I would try to do that because in my own thought process, I'm like, yeah, especially if there's a terrible blight across the world or whatever, I might come into that sort of situation and be like, hey, look, you guys want me as the hero, I'm totally down for that, but if you're gonna support me and everything, so make sure I succeed, we're gonna have to do some changes. It's like I would recommend that we do this and this, and then if given that they're like, oh, well, you do a far better job than anyone else has. How about we have you be the? I'm like, oh, hey, hold on, no. I wanted to give you guys a hand and help you out here to help me out so we can get this done. But That's not what I wanted. Hold up here. You know. But
Okay.
yeah, so
Yeah, this looks pretty interesting.
for sure.
Alright. The next show we're gonna be talking about is Heion Sedai no Itadenji, or Ida-ten deities in the Peaceful Generation.
Now,
I
I feel like we've talked about this one before, haven't we?
I have
Those that
to
got pushed back.
um
I feel like we've talked about this one because I remember that chick with the um had the one. Wait, I'm trying to. I'm on here. The one on the upper left hand side. Like her look is very familiar to me. So I'm looking at that going, have we watched this one already?
um
Or have we talked
are you
about this one?
are
I
you
don't know.
thinking of the girl that teases the guy?
No,
She
no,
had a
no,
crazy
no,
look to her. Okay.
no, no,
I
no.
don't I don't
Anyways.
um oh, I had to change the picture. The picture that they had like a week ago was, yeah, way more itchy than the current picture.
Gotcha.
And I was like, no. I was like, mm-mm. But yeah, this one is yours. Who it is done by Mappa, which is awesome.
which is why the crazy styling does it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like neither one of us are surprised about how that crazy styling though that looks.
Yes.
When
What
it
is
comes
some of
to
the recent stuff that Mappa has done?
for sure.
Zombieland Saga, Attack on Titan. Go row 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 row. You know?
Jujutsu Kaisen,
Yes.
which I mean, again, as if you look at anyone who is interested in anything crazy looking, Jujutsu Kaisen, that's just crazy looking from start to finish.
Um, Yuri on Ice. Yeah. Terran Residence. Um, Kids on the Slope. A lot of classic, awesome shows.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
You want me to talk this one? Just or do the synopsis on this one, or
oh, this one was yours.
oh, was mine? I thought it
Yeah.
was. I thought you had them done too. Okay. You kind of took the lead on that. I was like, okay, I'll let you kind of do whatever. So in this one, gods appeared when humanity was on the verge of destruction due to the work of demons. Deities called Ida-ten fought and sealed away the demons 800 years ago. Nowadays, the Ida-ten have no fighting experience and they live peaceful lives. But now the demons are reviving, and the battle between gods, humans, and demons is about to begin. So again, maybe it's just because I'm so used to Mappa. Maybe I'm starting to become just so iterated in between Mappa that I'm just like I see their style and it automatically just clicks and I'm just like, oh yeah, no, that's Mappa, or that like, have I seen this before? I could swear, um, but I swear we talked about this one before. Um, I'm interested. It seems interesting to see sort of a battle situation. I mean, this is not necessarily saying this is not an isekai. This is straight up fantasy because they're not talking about like um, humans per se. But yeah, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it's going to be uh, straight up action, balls to the wall sort of situation, and I'm here for it.
I don't see how the humans have a chance. I'm like, humans versus demons? I'm like, okay, maybe. We got technology. But then humans versus gods? I'm like, that's like a guy trying to fight Superman. That's not gonna work.
I mean, I'm feeling it. Like I said, I think it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm just like, if somebody's like gods versus humans versus demons, who's gonna win? I'm like the gods. Like, hey, like it's done.
hands down, hands down. There's no doubt. What are you talking about? This is hands down. But yeah, no, I feel like it's gonna be very. I don't know. It definitely it piques my interest, and I guess that's more my fantasy guidelines and interest for things that it comes about it. Um, and the things about this again, it seems pretty straightforward. Its genres are action, adventure, fantasy, demons, gods, war. Um,
What are they fighting about too?
huh?
I'm like, what are they fighting about?
I think they're just fighting about existence, like their ability to exist and rule over people or whatnot. I don't know. Like this, like again, there's not a whole lot to go off on the synopsis. It seems pretty straightforward. I have a feeling since it is Mappa that it's not going to be as straightforward as they want to say make it seem. Because Mappa never does anything straightforward. But the trailer really doesn't give a whole lot, and that synopsis is very not giving a whole lot either. So I guess more just me and like, hey, fantasy, I'm all about it. I'm all looking forward to it. So
So, like, there's something with the girl that you had mentioned. I don't know what it is. I saw her in the trailer, and I'm like, okay, crazy girl. And then I see her, or we talk about it in the synopsis, and I'm like, she's not even in the synopsis. And then the first picture that they put up on Annie Chart, I'm like, they didn't say anything about this. So I'm like, I don't know. I feel like she's gonna be a shocking character.
yeah, I could see that.
But,
Quick question. I'm just looking through the character list of this. The one character they have there, the little blonde girl, her name's Paula. Isn't that the same name of the girl in the library of ReZero? Or am I not thinking about that correctly?
Betty.
Huh?
That is Betty.
Was the one in the library?
Yeah.
Doesn't she look very similar to her though?
She does look.
She looks really
As soon as I
similar.
went down there, I was like, oh, she does look like her.
She does. Like she has the same sort of face, and then the hairstyle is like
Yeah.
almost identical to each other because they have like the pigtails
Yes.
going on.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it's not to say that no one can have pigtails. It's like no, but when you have something blonde-haired, small girl, pigtails, and that sort of face outline look up, and I'm like, God,
Yeah.
she's like a dead ringer for the library girl in ReZero.
Yeah.
And I'm like, was this a crossover or something I'm not aware about, or that would be crazy. Anyways, yeah, no, nothing. I don't really have too much to say about this one, just because there's not. I don't know a whole lot about this one, and again, the trailer was very brief. I think the
Yeah.
only thing they had on there was like a 40-second teaser trailer.
Yeah.
Which what the hell is going on with that as of late? We get like the only thing we keep getting now are like teaser trailers.
Yeah. It seems like the
Seems
full
like.
trailer comes out like closer to the launch, and
Yeah,
like they don't put the trailer out early.
I'm like I want to know. I make my decisions ahead of time. God damn it.
Well, me, I'm like, they're like, hey, Mappa's coming out with another show and people are fighting. I'm like, cool, I'm on board.
Which is why I thought this one would be on your list too. I was kind of surprised.
It was like borderline. Like I didn't get enough from the trailer, so I'm like, I don't really have much to say about it until the synopsis. Until I go through go through the synopsis.
Oh,
then
it was. I remember. I was like, I swear to God, you had an H title, and you're like, oh, it's Higurashi. Never mind.
yeah, and then I didn't even see like I have Ray Ray grab the pictures for me. So as soon as I don't actually see the picture until I'm putting everything together. So when I was like,
what's your opinion of it now?
there's something up with that girl. Like before when I saw the trailer, I was like, Mappa's doing another show. This is a teaser. I'm gonna watch it anyway. So I don't really have an opinion, so that's why I wasn't on my list. And then as I was putting the show together, I saw the picture. I was like, oh, she must be a bigger character. Like she must be like the show must be about her, and she's crazy. Okay. And then now that I see it, so
one of the main characters, Hayato, he almost reminds me from just his looks of oh God, the fuck's his name? From Seven Deadly Sins. The main guy. Ah! Now you get to start.
Oh! Seven Deadly Sins. I was thinking of Trinity 7.
No. Seven Deadly Sins. The main Meliodas.
Yes.
Meliodas. He reminds me from the way he looks. Like if his hair, because his hair's not orange, but if his hair was more yellow instead of the orange, he would remind me of Meliodas.
Yeah.
Because he seems like he's kind of short.
Yeah.
And he kind of has that look about him of I really don't give a damn, but don't mess with me.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and then now that you say that, then the girl reminds me of Diana.
Which one?
The girl in the top corner, like just
the one with the beret.
Huh?
The one with the beret.
No.
You said top
girl
corner, right?
Top with the red.
Oh, the crazy-eyed one.
Yeah, it's like this strong girl could possibly be a giant.
I don't know about that, but okay. I don't know about that, but I'll give it to you. I don't know. We're going off topic now.
All right. The next show we're going to be talking about is Higurashi.
Eventually at some point I will catch up on this series.
Yeah. So we need to do the whole high dive comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see where it's going. I saw the trailer for this one and I'm like, I don't remember any of this. Yeah. So this must be one of those ones where
I mean, it's Higurashi. It's oh, did it?
Yeah. Just like okay, that threw me off. Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff happening in the trailer that I'm like, I don't remember any of this. So I'm wondering if it's like a brotherhood situation where like Higurashi, they started off with the manga and like just kind of made stuff up and like crafted like a really good 2-series show. Mm-hmm. And then now they're like, okay, the manga's finished, let's redo this up to date animation and follow the manga.
I don't know.
Or
I don't know, but whatever it is, I can tell you, it's gonna be messed up. Whatever it is.
Yeah, I was actually watching this trailer, and I don't know if it's just me, like now, or what, but I was getting scared. Because it seemed like it was stuff that I hadn't seen before.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like,
I mean, like you said, if they're doing a 2-act and now they're actually following the manga, I mean...
Or maybe yeah, the 2 series.
I just look at this and just go, it's just more fucked up stuff. That's just all it is.
Yeah, I'm wondering if like maybe the manga wasn't finished, and like this is like the first series that they like the remake that they did like covers what was covered in the first series, and like this is a continuation. Like it seems like there's something more happening with the blonde girl. Um,
The blonde or the orange hair girl?
for some reason, oh, the blonde girl, like
Okay.
yeah, Sadako.
Because she's like more involved in the
Yeah,
trailer than anything I've
yeah.
seen.
So there's that, which I'm like, I don't remember the story following her that much, and I remember following Rika a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything kind of like revolved around her in certain aspects. Sadako seemed like she was a secondary character as far as like all the characters are concerned. It was like the guy, Reina were like the main two, and then Shion popped up, and then Mika, and then Sadako's at the bottom. But yeah, I really need to get back to this because I want to see the compare. Like, I'm like, are they even with Brotherhood? Like when I watched the first like what I think 9 episodes followed like the original series, and then like you met somebody who was never in the show, and then it was like, let's go to the left, and it just went off. And it was just an incredible show. Like this show, I want to know what it's doing, and I'm afraid that it's gonna veer off like after a couple episodes, and then I'm just gonna be terrified for like a half because what they already made up was scary, and now it's more new scary, which is kind of it's like I asked for it. I'm like every couple seasons, I'm like, I want to watch something scary. And I'm like, I put this on my list because it's scary, and they're like, oh, you want scary? And I'm like,
Here's Higurashi that you never thought would come back.
I was like, I guess I asked for it. So yeah, I'm very curious to find out what's going on, but then I'm a bit scared, and I don't know if I want to. I kind of regret asking for scary.
Maybe I played off a little too much.
So yeah, Igarashi's back. Watch the first series. It seems like it's way different than this one. And yeah, the next show we're going to talk about is Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid S.
Yes. Finally, Miss Kobayashi has returned.
Yes, I remember last episode you mentioned that they were doing some shorts, and it may have been leading up to another season.
Yeah.
And here we are, new season.
I'm super hyped. Was already hyped, wanting to see some Kobayashi anyways. So this to me is just, more of what I want from what I wanted to begin with. Give me Kobayashi.
Yes. And it's like the cuteness that's in this show even bled into the trailer. Like I was listening to it, and I don't know what they were saying. Well, they had subtitles, but I'm like, something caught my attention, and I'm like, one, they're speaking like to the rhythm. So I'm like,
see, I didn't even watch the trailer on this because immediately I saw Kobayashi and I'm like, yes, yes, I don't even care, yes.
And then I started noticing that at the end of all the sentences started to rhyme. So I'm like, oh, it's like a cutesy hip hop song. I'm like, oh my God, this show's adorable. So, yeah, I'm like already excited.
Oh yeah, just seeing all the old characters that we've seen before, and God, seeing the little girl dragon. She was the absolute most adorable thing in the entire thing.
Yeah. And then they introduced a new
And
very
it's funny.
strong
It's
skin.
funny too because that series, not only was it like the cutesy as far as like you could tell it was cutesy sort of situation, but it was also like the series itself already knew that little girl that they had was already just absolutely cutesy. They're like, we know she is. We're just gonna play it up. You know, we already are aware of that.
Yeah, I uh, I'm just excited. I can't. I can't wait.
Oh yeah. Above all else, I mean, who isn't? It's just amazing.
Oh, um, yeah, the studio is Kyoto. What have they done in recently? Um, oh, there's another free. Oh, yeah, they've done free the smoking, no swimming anime.
That's gonna be next year. There, in case you didn't see
2021.
that. 2022. You're talking about Free, the final.
Yeah, they have one in
Oh, I bet you they're splitting it into cores.
yeah.
Splitting it into cores. Okay.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I saw like the last word was different. I was like,
Yep. Yeah, but I just saw it Free, and I was like, wait, no, that's 2022. What are you talking about?
Did you ever watch Violet Evergarden?
No, and I was
Me,
told I should.
yeah, me too. Everybody said it was super gorgeous.
Yep,
Um,
that's what I was told.
yeah. Then we got Chunibya, a lot more free.
Free, 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 free.
Hibike Euphonium, but I never watched that one. Oh, Kyokai no Kanata. What was that? Beyond the Boundary? Yes,
Oh
that
goodness.
is
That
very.
one. Musagai
But yeah.
for Phantom World, I recognize that one.
Oh, yeah. And K-On! Nichijou, too. I need to watch it.
The Kyoko no Kanata.
Yes, I think I was Beyond the Boundary. I think it's what
Is
it
that
was.
what that was? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that one was pretty intense.
Yeah.
That was one that I watched like start to finish. Like I was like enthralled with it the entire time.
Yeah.
Oh, and
So,
Amagi Brilliant Park too.
yes. Oh my God. So yeah, Kyoto Animation
They're
knocks it
they're
out of the park
they're
constantly.
pretty high up there. I mean, would you rank them up there with JC stuff?
Um,
They've been around and doing a lot of. I mean, shoot, they go as far back. They did Clenod.
yeah. So I was about to say I think they're above.
JC stuff.
Like as far as like an overall grade, I would say Kyoto is above JC Staff. But as far as like if you want to put show against show, like Index slash Railgun is like really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, but I mean, they did. Yu or Inuyasha and Full Metal Panic, the original Full Metal Panic, not the crappy Full Metal Panic. The original Full Metal Panic. They realized where that was going and said, "No, we're not going to do that."
we're not gonna.
And that's when another studio went, "Hey, we'll do that for you." And they're like, "By all means, because that's not going to work for you."
Man, imagine if JC Staff did.
I don't know. Pound for pound, I think they're pretty close to being even, in my opinion. I mean, they did Suzumiya.
Yeah.
That's iconic. I mean, K-On, Clannad. If you were to talk to somebody who's been watching anime for a long period of time, these names would bring back so much memories. And they were like classics back in the. I mean, they still are. Lucky Star.
And all these names are from Kyoto.
Yep.
Mm.
All of them are from Kyoto. So I said, I mean, don't get me wrong. They do have their, like, why did you do this? What was the reasoning behind this? You're gonna have to explain yourself there, Kyoto. I'm not 100% on board with this, but you know what? Hey, you do you. Um, but I think all studios have at least something of that regards.
Yeah, so I think what I had said was like Kyoto's up there, and then like when you pick out like a specific show, a show that would put JC Staff way up there is Index Railgun.
So
Overall,
you would overall, I mean, so you would put Kyoto Animation just below JC Staff?
no, I'll put them above
Oh,
because
above.
they have so many hard hitters. But
Oh, okay. I got you.
but JC Staff has shows that are really hard hitters too, so they're not that far behind.
Okay, so you put Kyoto above, right above JC Staff, is what
Yeah.
you're saying. Got it. Yeah, no, I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah. TacoYaki. Alright, the next show we're going to be talking about is
I think we get more into your shows now.
Love Life. So, I put this on the list because of the trailer.
Isn't this a sequel to something?
It is like the 17th sequel to Love Live or something.
Okay, I was about to say, I recognize that title.
Yeah.
And the minute I read that title, and I'm looking at going, I didn't even glance at the synopsis. I didn't do anything. Like I saw the title. I'm like, next, because I'm like, I feel like I've already passed that one up enough times to know I don't want to watch that one. So I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Yes. So I watched the original Love Live, and I liked that show. Since then, they have put out many, many more sequels, and I just want to mention this show for like, so, and I think I mentioned this also before in another previous episode. Like, as far as like the moneymaker shows, because this is done by Sunrise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sunrise is the Gundam people.
Mm-hmm.
They were making a lot of their money from Gundam, or at least is what I'm assuming. And then Idol shows started coming out, and a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, Idols!" And Idols like took over. And then Sunrise was like, "But what about Gundam?"
I regret that so much. If there is one thing in our society that if aliens came down and were like going through our history and learning about us, that would be the one thing I'd be looking at them and go, I apologize on behalf of humanity for this one. Just skip it. Just skip over it. Don't even look at it. It's not worth your time.
So yeah, so it's like Sunrise is like, hey, nobody's watching Gundam anymore. Everybody's watching a bunch of idol shows. They're like, how about we make one too? And it's just all the money. Now, the reason why I put this show on here, I don't know. I'm gonna check out the first episode, and if the characters catch me, then I'm back on board. But as of right now, I'm like, the only reason I'm bringing this show up is because of the detail that they put in this trailer. A lot of shows, all the background characters are like just doing simple movements, or they're like a big army of CG clones, and they're barely doing anything. I'm like, in this trailer, everybody's animated like they're the main character. And I'm like, there's so much movement in the background. And I'm like, good God, how much money did they put into this? So, yeah, I'm like, idol shows apparently make all the money, and they just dumped a bunch of budget into this trailer. I don't know if it's going to have the same budget for the show, but good God. I've never like this. It's almost like film quality animation, where it's like everything's moving, everything's animated properly. There's nothing in the background. Um, other shows that Sunrise has done. So basically, Studio Bones, who we are fans of, broke away from Sunrise, and Studio Bones is one of the studios that worked on Cowboy Bebop.
Mm-hmm.
And then they broke off and started knocking out other shows.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You know, at one point, I think we're going to need to do a show just based upon studios and just discussing, like, the various studios themselves and where we actually rank our favorites and what we think are, like, the best studios to come to produce any sort of anime.
That is a good idea. Yeah, I like that.
I mean, we talk about them enough, and we mention the ones that we favorite as far as, like, the different ones that are out there. So I don't see why that couldn't be the case.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, because you mean we talk about Bones, and the minute anyone talks about Bones, anyone would, you know, who's known us or known anything dealing with Bones is me like, here's gonna be a whole bunch of like Bones, and it's automatically like, checkbox. That's good. Yep. Don't even have to worry about it. Don't even have to say anything about it. It's Bones.
Yeah.
I mean, because yeah, the animation for Bones is always top notch. I mean, you got to feel like there are certain situations where I don't know if like maybe there was some other thing going on, but I feel like maybe the ones who broke apart and went to Bones were the ones who were like, hey, we don't necessarily agree. You know, we want to up the ante. We're not making it into a production like everyone else does. You know, maybe they saw everyone going for the money when it came to going to the idol situation. They're like, but we don't want to do that. We want to make top-notch anime, but not have to rely on what's trending or what's out there right now. We want to just make cool stuff, and you know what I mean. I feel like that's just like because Bones never really does stuff like that. They never go that idol route or make all the. They're like, we're just gonna make top-notch quality anime, and people are just gonna enjoy fucking watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think when Bones left was before the idol boom. I know that.
So that almost makes sense to me. Like they looked at that whole idol situation, they're just like, no,
or
we don't want to do that. We want to make.
Like, we don't want to do Gundam anymore.
Oh well. I mean, maybe, but I just feel like if they left right before the idol boom happened, it's like because studios don't just like, it's not the year of that they're making these like decisions are made well in advance when it comes to what sort of shows and lineups they want to have, because they already know. I mean, some of them I think they do like they see how it fares like the first season, and then they'll decide if they want to continue it if it strikes a popular chord or something like that. But I think in regards to like, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me if a lot of studios have like their lineup by like the beginning of the year on what they're going to be doing pretty much that whole year, or at least like maybe the main points. You know what I mean?
Oh, I might be wrong. I'm scrolled down to like 2005.
For what? For Bones or
for Sunrise?
Uh-huh.
I'd have to pop out and find a Bones show to see when they started. But so it's like Mech Show, and it's like Inuyasha and a couple other shows that they're.
Okay, Bones animation started in 1998.
Okay. Dang, that's like right around Cowboy Bebop time.
One of their first projects was collaborating with Sunrise on Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. In 2005 or 6, I think, Idolmaster came out. And that's like mixing idols and mechs. And then before that, My Hime is like a step right before Idolmaster, where it's like.
So they really didn't start hitting the scene until I think they did co-op work with Sunrise,
Uh-huh.
and they didn't actually start doing their own stuff until 2000.
Okay.
Is what I'm getting, because their timeline on their production doesn't start until 2000.
Yeah.
And see, here's the thing. I guarantee you, no, they didn't want to move away from the mech stuff, because you know what their second and third animes were. Second anime they ever did was in 2001, Angelic Layer Battle Doll.
Okay.
That's mech stuff.
Yeah.
Their third one is even worse than that. Razafan. If they wanted to move away from mech stuff, that's not a way you do that.
Okay. So yeah, maybe it was. Well, I don't know. It's like it seems from the shows that are here, it's because My Hime started in 2004, and I'm like, I feel like that's the precursor to Idolmaster, and then Idolmaster is the precursor to Love Live, and then it's just a bunch of other idol shows, and like
But
the
like
mech shows get shrink down to just Gundam.
if you look down like Bones's whole repertoire when it comes to their and I mean I'm only looking at titles, mind you. So I'm not looking at any pictures to give away whatever is in here, but I'm really not seeing any like idol shows. I'm really not. Like I'm already down to 2015 and I'm still not seeing like any idol shows.
Yeah.
I really feel like they were just like, you know what? Not having it. Not really for us. Okay, Show by Rock 2. First idol show kind of situation I think I see from them. I'm not even sure that's really it. I'm just kind of looking at a picture.
Yeah, it's like a hybrid. We had
And
talked about it.
that didn't happen until 2016.
Because everybody was doing idol shows. Like, I guess we should try
Like, I mean, but it took them that long to be like,
yeah.
all right, yeah, I guess we can do. I mean, again, this is pure speculation on my part. It just feels like a lot of times when people break apart from a studio is because they don't like the direction that the studio is headed in. They don't feel like it coincides with their thought process and what they want to do.
Yeah.
And it
Creative
just seems
difference.
like the creative differences and whatnot. And I feel like Sunrise really just was like, you know what? Here's the idol thing. It makes big bucks, big money, let's cash in on this whole idol situation. And guys who were with Bones are like, but I want to make things about killing people and, big mechs and stuff like that. And they're like, no, you're doing idol stuff now. And they're like, well, I'm out of here then. You know?
Yeah.
They're like, I want space cowboys and mechs and all this other stuff, and they're like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, someone out there, prove me wrong. Someone who knows, someone who's in the know about those things, prove me wrong about it. Tell me what happened. Shed some light on where Bone Studio got its start or why it became what it became. But I mean, it definitely took its own direction and I think thrived in it. So
Yeah. Even if you take 2020 and look at like the mix of shows, it's like there are 12 shows. 4 of them, it's like 4 of them are mechs, 4 of them are idols, and then 4 of them may be like pieces of each, and like throwing a little bit of fantasy because they did Inuyasha.
yeah, but I mean, like the whole thing about like what you have from the beginning of their whole thing, from Bones, you have Wolf's Rain, Razafon, Full Metal Alchemist, Eureka 7. Again, another mech one. They kind of slowed it a little bit on that when they went to Horn High School Host Club, but then they went to Ghost Slayers, Darker Than Black, Skullmen, Soul Eater, like all of these like really dark, high impact, actiony type shows. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Hero Man, Gossick #6. Like it just continued down that path.
Yeah.
which I'm all about. I mean, and not just because it's my type of genre, but because the animation that they put into this sort of thing is always incredible.
Yeah.
And then, just to give it in context to people who, who are maybe listening to this and watching or have only watched more recent stuff, they're the ones who do My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Which the animation, again, has been amazing for My Hero Academia. You cannot deny that at all. So, yeah.
Yeah. For all those Idol fans out there. Sunrise.
So to come to a close on that, Taco's got your back. I can do the rest.
Yeah, for all those Idol fans out there, Sunrise is still cranking them out. But yeah, the next show we're gonna be talking about is Megami Ryo no Ryobokun, or Mother of Goddess Dormitory.
So, okay. Again, this is kind of my same read as in what was it? The Cheat Kusakai no Slow Life.
Okay.
He's guy from the I don't expect amazing things from this. I expect what's gonna happen is I'm gonna get some laughs, I'm gonna get some facepalm moments, and I'm just generally gonna have just like it's kind of cool, funny, whatever, interesting little time. Will I continue it? Will it be one of my top priority things? Probably not, but I mean, I might just continue it just to get a good laugh every now and then. This is done by Asreed, which are the same ones who have done Arifutura Shokugo no Deseki Sekyo, which I did watch that in my own time off of our podcast, because I went back and watched that, I think, last year. The show's already been out since 2019, or at least that one had been out since 2019. They've also done Big Order, which I never finished, and Corpse Party.
I don't think I've watched anything from them.
I've watched a few things. I've watched a few. Oh, Shuffle. Really? They did Shuffle?
Mirai Nikki, is that the one with the crazy girl?
Yeah.
I need to watch that. I keep seeing all these references. Oh, and Minami Okaede.
Minami.
2009.
Oh, yeah. But I remember them from as far back as their very beginning with the Shuffle. That one, that one.
Gare Zero.
That one blew my mind.
Wow.
That one's a tough one. Shuffle's a tough one. That's one that you definitely want to have a. If you binge watch that one, have something fun to watch afterwards.
This is the second show that I'm like, you're like, oh, beware of this show. It's like, it's already.
I'm just saying, when it comes to that, like I said that with that one, and I said that one with I can't remember the name. Which one?
Tale of Memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just because it hits you sideways. Like it's those where it's like you're going along in an expected way, and it just comes out of nowhere and it's just like surprise, and you're like, oh god, where did that come from? And you're like, oh no, that's not right. Why are you doing that? That is. It makes sense in the context and the way that it goes about, but it just comes out of nowhere to where, a lot of those shows you can brace yourself and be like, okay, this is going to be, some hard hitting stuff. There's going to be some emotional stuff here. I get that. I'm ready. Let's do it. But then when it's like Higurashi. where you're like, hey, happy go fun times, and everyone's smiling, cheerful, and we're going about our daily lives, going to school, da 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 da, and you're like, axe murder, ah, and you're like, wait, where did that come from? I didn't agree to that. That's not what I signed up for. Like School Life is another one who does the same thing like that.
Yeah.
That just comes out of freaking nowhere. You're like, oh, we're having such a fun, happy-go-lucky time. This is awesome. And it's like death. And you're like, oh, what?
With School Life, you can
If you're paying close enough attention to it, only thing you'll know is something is off.
Yeah, you're like, something's off, and you're kind of a jerk. Why are you being so mean to her? I'm like, you shouldn't.
But then, like, the reality sinks in, and I gotta tell you, I even knew in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, something's off. Something's not 100% right. Why are they living in school? What is going on here? I don't care if it's a club. That seems weird. Where did that come from? Why is this allowed to happen? Da 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 da. And then the reality sets in. You're like, oh my god, that is one, incredibly dark, and two, oh my god, So yeah, that's kind of where I put that. I don't expect, like I said, amazing things from this one. And because, okay, so the last one I watched from this, from them, which was that one that there's going to get another season next year, the Arifureta, it has its moments, don't get me wrong. And I sort of see, like, maybe, I'm hoping, because it had its ecchi moments, but it wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't, like, over the top ecchi. We're like, okay, come on, this is borderline hentai. What are we doing here? You know what I mean? I'm hoping we kind of have that situation here, where it's like it borderlines. I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, and maybe I'm hoping too much, but I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that this is more of a characterized kind of sort of situation, because okay. Going to, and the only reason why I say this is going to the synopsis, all right? Nagumi Koshi is a 12-year-old boy. Okay, mind you, he's 12 years old. 12 years old, okay? We can't go too far when it's 12 years old, all right? 12-year-old boy who has abandoned by his broke father after their house caught on fire, leaving him to roam the streets penniless. That's already a pretty bad setup. Then one day, a girl named Minerva, who finds him lying on the sidewalk, takes him to a women's college dormitory, one known for housing troublesome residents. Okay, granted, yes, bad setup, dormitory for women. But here's the thing. What may not elude yourself, because you're like, oh, women's college dormitory, oh, we're already going bad here, is it says one known for housing troublesome residents. I'm thinking more like there's some things going on here. And asks him to be their dormitory mother. Surrounded by older women and forced to deal with their idiosyncrasies, Koshi starts his new, somewhat ecchi life.
So, I have 3 red flags.
Huh?
One, why is he wearing a dress? Okay, he's the dorm mother. Fine. 2.
So, one, your idea of a dress, that's an apron.
Oh. Wait.
It's an apron.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes perfect sense then. Yeah.
Yes, because he's cleaning.
Okay, cool. Then, the source is a manga, and if you look at the manga's cover, somewhat ecchi. And then if you go down to the trailer is age restricted.
Yeah, I know. But I watched on, you know what? YouTube has it. And
yeah.
You can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, as long as you're signed in and you agree that you want to see the ecchi.
Well, here's the thing. Nothing that they show so far, at least in that trailer, would I say is anything I have not seen in any other anime in dealing with any sort of ecchi situations.
Okay, I'm just because when you were like, you're hoping that it's more like character focused and stuff like that,
So
and not etchy. I
going
was like, oh,
going through the trailer, like okay, going through the trailer, the very first thing, okay, he runs into one of the girls. I don't see he's wearing a shirt, and he's got a kind of a view of her crotch area. Okay, but she's wearing a dress, and I'm sure she has underwear on, whatever. So it's one of those embarrassing moments, but hey, it happens. Um, I see a lot where, again, I don't think these girls really necessarily, because he's 12 years old, they don't see him as any sort of like any way sexual in regards to
yeah,
that. They're more of seeing him as kind of like maybe a little brother figure.
yeah,
Because at one point there's also a scene where he's sitting there, and one of the girls, he's turned away because he's trying not to look, and she's in her underwear, and she like bends down to pick something up, and her butt's touching the back of his head. He's just like, oh my! You see the like, he's red faced, and he's just like, come on, like, just get this over with, just be done. Come on, just I don't, you know. Um, and so I mean, he's pressed up against things. Granted, whatever. Um, he definitely seems like he wants like his reaction and the way he looks when it seems like, because he's dressed in his like a school attire at one point, which I'm at one point in the trailer, which I'm assuming is when he was offered the position. He seems overly exuberant of like, I want to work here, and given his backstory of what happened to him and him living on the streets, the fact that he's like, it's not like she's forcing him to come here and do this, she's offering him a job and a place to live essentially.
yes,
So, and the fact that he's like excited for that, I mean, I feel like he has, maybe again I'm more reaching looking into things, but I feel like because he's a 12-year-old kid and he has that like look about him, I feel like he's actually excited to work, and he has maybe a good work ethic and wanting to actually do, he's wanting to do right.
yes.
I just feel like they're putting him in some awkward situations
Okay,
where he's wanting to do the right thing, and then he walks in and he's like, oh god, why did I, no, no, didn't want to, no, can you put more clothes on, please? You know, like situations like that where he's just like, god, I did not need, no, please, no, why are you doing this to me? Because then like at certain points you see like he's being treated like a kid, like the pink-haired girl is like patting him on the head and like telling him, I'm sure it's like it's okay, maybe he messed up on something or something happened, and he's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, you know. And then there's another point where it looks like he's you know, he's meeting all the other guests and or the other women who are in the dormitory, and he's feeding one of them because looks like she's one of those characters who like can't necessarily take care of herself or whatever, or like maybe she's like because it's a dormitory, so they're in school. I'm imagining she was studying and like overdid it and forgot to actually eat because she has that like grumpled look of like, oh my god, I'm starving situation. He just probably was cooking something. He's like, here, you know.
yeah,
So like
yeah,
almost to me in that regard, it's like he's taking care of them. He's like, okay, I gotta like figure out what each. This is why I said that when I read their idiosyncrasies, I was like, okay, so each of them are their own sort of character and revolve to that, and he has to figure out through his day-to-day routine in life. Like I'm sure the first couple episodes are going to be absolutely batshit crazy,
yeah,
where it's going to be like he's going to be like, oh my god, how do I handle all this, because this person does this and this person wakes up and does this and this person, you know, this person doesn't care that there's a boy in the house, so she's just like, I'm going to take a shower, and she's just like, you know, and you're like, no, stop that. You know, like I see situations like that happening. um so I'm thinking again. I'm looking at this as objectively as I can. I know they said etchy, and granted, there's a lot of girls here, so it's gonna happen. But you know, and then there's a situation where like he walks in and he's got the pink-haired girl like over his shoulders, like carrying her in, helping her inside or whatever. You know, like maybe she was out drinking or something like that. You know what I mean? Because it's a dormitory, so obviously it's college, so you know they can do that. And you know, I just it seems to me like there's going to be a lot of situations are going to be like, okay, we're verging. Can we step it back? And then no, they will step it back, because again, he's a 12-year-old boy. Not like we're talking about a 16, 18-year-old, guy who's now in a college dormitory situation. He's going to be probably more embarrassed and wanting to remove himself from the situation. And because of that, they'll be like, oh, you're just adorable and cute. And they'll just, because again, they're not going to think of it in that way either, because it's like, you're 12.
Yeah.
you're the little brother in the situation.
Okay.
So I don't know. I have some expectations for this, not necessarily high, because again, I know where these kind of situations can lead to. And I mean, it does tell you right from the get-go, somewhat ecchi. But I'm hoping, from having watched the previous ones that done by this studio, and knowing the fact that they have the capacity of going to certain places, but not going, like they know where the comedic effect is. Where they're like, we're ecchi, but we're not like that far gone. We're not like beating you over the head with it type edgy. We're just like, hey, look at this moment. Okay, moving on. I'm hoping we're at that point, and I'm hoping we're more into lines of character development with this kind of situation.
Okay.
So we'll see. I don't know how far it is gonna go, but yeah.
We shall see. The next show we're gonna be talking about is Peach Boy Riverside.
Yep, I think this is one of the last two that we have in common.
Yeah.
So, I guess because you're going to be doing a lot of talking after this, I will. I'll take this. You can add in your bit on it as well, but I'll do the more reading on this, because you're going to be doing a lot of talking after this. So this is done by Sashi Production, which has done. I didn't actually look at the studio on this one before, and I don't recognize it. I don't recognize any of the things I see from them.
I feel like I've seen the name a couple times.
Okay, so I recognize. I didn't think I watched it, but I recognize Medaka Box.
Oh yeah.
I recognize.
Witch. Is it the Witch? I saw the first episode of that one.
Yeah, I feel like it's the first episode of that
one. Yeah, then Medaka Box.
Wait, they did One Piece? Maybe like they contributed to. Okay, they did like an episode of One Piece. I was like, wait.
Yeah,
they did One Piece. They should be well more known than that. Yeah. Shit, that's been a ongoing cash grab, longest running series in anime. There's no way that they haven't been that more well known. So I mean, they've done
this
some
year.
stuff.
They just started. They're like, let's do more. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because even the ones that they've done where they've done more during a year, they've been more like shorts instead of full-on animes, it looks like. So anyways, I mean, as far as studios go, not a very well-known one, at least from our perspective. So we'll see what happens with that. But shoot, where'd it go? So Peach Boy Riverside, which that is such an interesting name for a title for anything. I don't think I've ever. Very rarely they're having like a full-on English name, and yet they're also very rarely is there. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, it just seems weird. But synopsis for this is, Seltharine Alderic, Princess of the Kingdom Alderic, dreams of traveling the world. A dangerous dream in a land where monsters roam the countryside as they please, and humans live behind high, strong walls. So already we're getting Attack on Titan vibes from this. But when a chance meeting with a traveler, Mikoto, gives hope to her dream, he shatters it soon after as he reveals himself to be none other than Momotaro, ruthless demon slayer. Though horrified by the gore Momotaro leaves behind, Southern is convinced more than ever that she needs to learn more about the world beyond her walls and journeys out, following the steps of the mysterious, charismatic, and terrifying boy she met that day. So, that just seems interesting to me. Again, it has certain vibes from certain other, just from the synopsis itself. It has certain vibes from other animes. I mean, demon hunting is not altogether abnormal. I mean, hell, just this last year, we've had one of the biggest demon slaying animes ever, just from Demon Slayer. Having a female protagonist is definitely something interesting. That doesn't happen too often. I think Claymore did that.
Yeah.
God,
I need to watch that show. That was good.
Yeah.
They need to finish it. They need to redo
it. So Claymore did that, but beyond that, I mean, like I said before, with the whole wall situation, that seemed kind of a situation like Attack on Titan. It has my curiosity, at least for that much. Trailer-wise goes, I mean, just looking at the picture from that they give, I'm a little curious because okay, I'll say Higurashi is scary in its own way, right? But when you have characters who have that like terrorizing, demonic like look to them, going crazy, I'm already like, yeah, please, because I want to see where that comes from or where that goes. And looking at when you click on the actual the banner that they have on any list, when you click on it up top, I'm like looking at that going, yes, please. Because I love seeing people just let loose and go wild, and that seems to be what this is gonna promise as far as that goes. So, what drove you to this one?
So, this is on the let's see what I got. Scroll past. I think I scrolled past. Yes, okay. So I put just looks cool.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
It does look cool.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was happening. I know that some people went crazy, like going crazy. So I'm like, okay, watch out for them. And then that little rabbit person. I feel like I've seen that character before.
See that I didn't even see that until after when I kind of viewed the trailer on that, and that rabbit person. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think it's bad, but it seems like it's such a cross between what someone had trying to go into a animalistic sort of situation, but not going all the way, I guess. Like I'm like, because God, the legs are something else. The legs are more humanish than I would expect. But like the legs are more humanish than I'd expect, but the feet are more rabbitish than I would think. I don't know. It's weird. It's not, like I said, it's not bad. It's not good. It's just weird.
Yeah, and like I don't know. I'm like, where are you from? I'm like, it may like that style of rabbit like character may like it may not be the same character that I saw somewhere else, but like something that looked very close to it. So I was just like, have I seen that before? Like I don't know if it's like a character drew a rabbit person and it looked like that or what, but yeah.
Apparently,
Yeah,
my
other than that, I'm
character's
like,
name
ooh,
is
I wonder if it's...
Frau. Huh.
Yeah, every time I hear Frau, I think of Austin Powers.
So tags for this one are gore, demons, female protagonist, male protagonist, shonen, and then to a lesser degree, harem, which is interesting. Huh. Curious how that goes.
Yeah, we shall see.
Yeah.
Let's see. The next show we're going to talk about is Scarlet Nexus.
I think I'm out of the equation for a while now.
Why did I put this one on my list? Oh, I feel like we talked about this show and it got pushed back.
So I had one where I felt that way, and you had one where you felt that way.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I'm a little bit confused about this one because automatically, my first thought is, one, it's done by Sunrise, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Again? Here we are again?
Yeah, I was like, we just talked about Sunrise.
And then two, its source is a video game.
Oh.
It's never turn out the greatest. I mean, they're never like overly bad, but they're never like, oh my god, this is amazing, you know? So
what I'll say, this is the show where they fought the others. And I don't know how many shows that we've went through that like the enemy was the others.
I feel like there's been too many. God, someone needs to come up with an original name, please.
But
let's throw some originality into it.
The others look like bouquets of flowers with legs. It's silly and non-threatening looking, which is probably why it works. You see it and you're like, is that a giant bouquet of flowers? Ugh. And yeah. This is that my sunrise, and yeah, we like Sunrise. The synopsis is solar calendar year 2020. Grotesque organisms called others have begun eating people. They're not really grotesque. They look like flowers.
Oh, it's disgusting. Oh my god. I mean, flowers eating me, that would scare the crap out of me.
These just look like a bouquet of flowers. Like if they look like piranha plants, then I'm like, okay, we got a problem. But
you're okay if it's a bouquet of flowers.
No, I'm like confused. It's like if it was a piranha plant, I don't think that like as soon as the first person got eaten, they would be like, nope, all the piranha plants gotta die. But with this, you see a bouquet of flowers with a pant with legs, you're like, what is that? And then you get closer, you get eaten. And then
see, you'd be one of the first people eating that because you'd be like, wait, what is that?
Yeah. And then the word was spreading. They're like bouquets of flowers are eating people, and you're like, you're saying silly stuff. Go away. And then you see a bouquet of flowers with legs. You're like, what is that? And you get eaten. So I feel like because they're in this form, it's a better chance for people to get eaten because they're confused. But yeah, to take down this new enemy, the Others Suppression Force is formed. Saved by this elite team as a child, psychonetic Yuito withstands the training to enlist. On the other hand, prodigy Kasane was scouted for her abilities, but Kasane's dreams tell her strange things, dragging the two into an unavoidable fate. Okay. Got a little prophecy going on.
Gotta love prophecy.
But I feel like this show is gonna be super duper busy. Like, just the picture, I'm just like, there's so much going on, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's gonna be a lot on screen, especially during the fights. But we shall see. It looks like it's gonna be a Funimation exclusive because the synopsis came from Funimation.
Wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. Funimation's been doing a lot of those recently.
Yeah. So we shall see. Yeah, I just thought that the monsters were weird, you know.
See, I saw the whole thing with the video game, and I'm just, and then that synopsis is just so generic, especially when it said the others. Because I agree, we have seen so many animes where the bad guy is called the others. It's like, can someone someone do something about that?
What could be a name of them? Like,
I don't even care if they would say like
K-legs.
Alpha, give them a designation of like A class 01 or something like that, Yeah. But just to have them ubiquitously known as the others, I mean, come on.
The Bud Walkers, no. Bloom Walkers. There we go.
Bloom, I see. You know what? I would totally be on board for Bloom Walkers.
Yes.
I totally would be on board for Bloom Walkers.
That took like 2 minutes. Cool.
See, if that, I don't think these freaking people making these things don't even know what the hell they're doing.
See how the Bloom Walker show plays out. The next show we're going to be talking about is Shiroi Suna no Aquatope, or Aquatope of White Sand.
Oh, how am I not surprised this one's 1 year?
So,
slice of life dealing with aquariums.
PA Works.
And it's PA Works, of course.
Yes, this is done by PA Works, and I thought I had one relationship with PA Works, but then I went through the list, and I'm like, you know what? My relationship with PA Works is different than I thought. What I thought was I loved PA Works shows, and then they made Glass Lip, and I didn't like that show. And then they made a couple other shows that I didn't really care about, and then I was like, please, PA Works, make another good show. But that's not the case. One of the first shows that I watched from PA Works was Another, which is like way different than their usual shows. Because it's a horror show. Actually, no, it's Cat Kanan.
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't really fit. Like the first two shows that I saw from them don't really fit what they make nowadays. And then I got Nagi no Sakura, and that was like, oh my god, my heart, my feelings. And then they came out Weirdness, Uchosen Kazoku, the Unusual Family or something like that. Then True Tears, which I think you watched, or
True Tears. Sounds familiar.
Okay. That one came out a while ago, and there was like something happened to a chicken, like somebody killed a chicken. It was sad, and I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. This is sad. So, yeah. Then they came with Charlotte, which was like amazing. Then Kuro Mukuro, and I'm like, eh. Then they came out with season 2 of what is the name of the show? I don't want to call it show. It's like Odd Family or something. The Eccentric Family. There we go. So the Eccentric Family came back, and I'm like, yes, I'm on board again. And then Uma Musume came out, and I'm like, oh my god, they can't do no wrong. And then the Fairy Gone came out, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, guys, why do you swing so high and then crash so hard? And I was just like, now we're on an up year. Or actually, the up year was last year, and they did Apire Ranman, which was really cool. And I didn't finish it. And then now,
it's really cool, but I never.
Yeah, like the concept was so cool. Wacky Racers, and like it was a show that I was like, it's Wacky Racers, but I didn't watch it. So I'm like, that I don't know if that's an upswing or a downswing. And then we got this like another show that I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna be upswing or downswing. So I'm like, I'm all over the place with PA Works. Like it's a good year and then a bad year.
In regards to PA Works, I will say that you cannot deny their animation quality.
Like it's so
like animation wise, I mean, no matter what it is that they're doing, and PA Works has done some crazy things, just like you said. PA Works has done some absolutely batshit crazy things. I mean, from doing the Ume Musume, so we're girls are horses, which is batshit crazy already. But the fact that they made it look as good as they did with the realism, they add in more, like, when I say realism, to me, it's more of like textures. Like I could feel, like when they had like statues or something like that, they give the bronze statue such a bronze look to it. Like I feel like I'm literally standing there in front of the statue looking at it, and I could reach out and touch it. That's how the realism to me is when it comes to their sort of work. And again, that goes to everything that they do, whether it be that one or what other ones, like another that I saw before, and it's like Angel Beats, even as far back as that. Like everything that they've done, and their character designs are always great too. I mean, they're never to me, the character designs are the one thing that probably draws you out of the realism of the world, because the way that they capture like the eyes and how they do that is always a little bit off to me than what I would think of as like realism when it comes to that. Like the eyes are so big. You have such big pupils, such big eyes, but that's a stereotypical anime look anyways. So I can, forego that. But they put a lot of detail into everything that they do. I will say that. I just don't always agree with the storylines that they put out, I guess. I sometimes question that.
So aquariums. I don't know what they're gonna do with these aquariums, but it's gonna look good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even looking at the trailer for that, looking at the aquariums and all that stuff, like there's some good qualities to that. Like of course, when you have water qualities inside of an anime, it's always something interesting. It's always something good, because you have studios feel like they can stretch their legs when it comes to that, and you have that, like that rainbow-ish sort of quality to the light fracturing on the water, the way the fish swim and stuff like that. Just the way that I, even just glancing at that little bit that I saw from the trailer, it's gorgeous. And I would expect nothing less from them on that.
The synopsis goes, the anime takes place at Gama Gama Aquarium, a small aquarium in Okinawa. An hour's bus ride from Naha. Kukuru Misakino is an 18-year-old high school student who works there, and she knows about the secret of the aquarium. Sometimes you can see mysterious things. One day, Kukuru meets Fuka standing in the water in front of a water tank with flowing hair and tears rolling down, and a tear rolling down her cheek. Fuka has given up on her dream of becoming an idol, and she has run away from Tokyo to Okinawa, wanting to find a place to belong. Fuka earnestly asks to work at the aquarium. The anime follows Kukuru and Fuka as they deal with the issues of the secret of the aquarium and a looming crisis of its possible closure. Okay.
I mean, it seems like a pretty stereotypical slice of life. I don't necessarily see anything grandiose other than the looks of the anime when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And you know how it is with me when it comes to slice of life anime. You got to have something interesting, some hook or something to really grab my attention.
Yes.
I know when it regards to me in regards to you, I'm definitely more picky when it comes to slice of life than it is for you.
Yeah, me for slice of life is like, do I want to hang out with these people? And one thing that PA Works does well with a lot of the shows that they've done is the main reason why I like one of the two reasons, like, characters I want to hang out with, and everything looks gorgeous, and I'm like, I'm 100% on board. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure these characters are going to be well developed because that's what PA Works does, and from the trailer, I already know it looks gorgeous. So, yeah, I'm 100% on board. The next show we're going to be talking about is Sunny Boy.
I don't know. See, I think I initially skipped on this one because I don't know. It kind of just threw me off that initial picture that they had of it.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, it definitely like there's expectations I think that everyone has when it comes to like the front picture that they have on these things.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have promotional pictures. Like you kind of have an expectation when it comes to that, but I mean, it's not. I don't necessarily think. Diving into it, since I saw that it was on your list, I went into it a little more than I thought I would, and it doesn't necessarily seem like it's. I don't know. I kind of has like a nostalgia feel to it almost.
Yes.
Did you get that?
So the the reason why I put this on is like I just want to say that this show looks CG at times, old school animated at others, and rotoscoped for the most part. So there is this one show, Video Girl I, that I watched a long time ago, and that show almost broke my heart. And these characters look like they're straight out of that show. Like the one girl with the brown hair, she has like this little round haircut. Like characters from shows around the time that Video Girl I came out, like all the characters had like round circular heads, and like they're kind of cutesy, and like all three of these characters have like similar styles of that. The sketchiness of the drawings also like looks like it's hand painted like back in the day, and then just the color palette, like it just looks old school, like not vibrant colors. It looks neat, like toned down. So, yeah, basically, I wanted to bring this up because the style is like very different than a lot of the other shows that we were talking about.
I can see that.
But
I'm like I said, I feel like the little promotional thing that they have there isn't as vindictive to what the actual story is going to be about. But
uh,
I don't know.
and of all people to to work on this show's done by Madhouse.
Yeah. Which is the minute I saw that, I'm like, okay, I get why you have it on your list automatically, just because Madhouse.
Well, I didn't. I just found out that it was Madhouse, so I'm like,
Oh, okay.
there's one scene where the character's running, and I was like, wow, that's really well animated. And now I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, Madhouse. So, yeah, Madhouse, who done Overlord, No Guns Life, um, Boogie Pop Phantom, the remake, and possibly the edition, like the original. Card Captor Soccer. I feel like I'm naming a bunch of other shows that aren't like what they're known for. One Punch Man, the original series. My Love Story. Death Parade. Oh my god. So yeah, no game life. No game, no life. I mean,
Which still needs a freaking goddamn sequel.
I think he's making a bunch of movies, so they won't make a sequel.
They only made one movie on it, I thought. Did they make more than that?
Oh, no life, no game, no life zero, or something like that.
Did they? I must have missed that one.
But Hunter x Hunter. Yeah. So this is a studio that's done some really good shows, and then this show is kind of like,
Madhouse is just an insane studio.
yeah, and then this is like, it doesn't match them at all. It's like, what?
So I mean, currently thinking about it, I mean, I know we mentioned before about JC Staff and
So oh wait,
no, it was JC Staff and Toy. Start with a T. God dang it! Why did I blink on that?
Kyoto?
Kyoto. Yeah.
Yeah, Kyoto.
Yeah, Kyoto. So JC Staff Kyoto Productions. Where would you rank Madhouse on that? Above all of them?
Oh God. Damn, Kyoto did some really good stuff. Let me leave this list again.
I mean, Madhouse has done some amazing things too, though.
Yeah.
You know.
I would see why Madhouse is higher on your list because of like the types of shows that are here.
Mm-hmm.
I think for
No
me,
Game No Life is higher on your list though too. You always said that one was just the way it was the look of it was. I mean, and it's true. It's very unique.
Yeah. Like,
and of course, it's like One Punch Man, Death Parade.
Yeah, and High School of the Dead, which I need.
Yeah.
For some reason, I remember High School of the Dead very fondly, and every time I either look at any pictures or new like reprints of the DVDs or any merchandise from it, I'm like, was this show like just straight up super edgy, and I just did not like
Hunter x Hunter. That one was. I mean, I watched that one on my own on the channel, but that one was an amazing show.
Yeah, and it's like,
so I mean, they definitely. Oh God, Black Lagoon.
And it's like a lot of these shows that you name, I haven't seen them. Like
Trigun.
Yeah, oh, Trigun was so good.
I mean, if we start really going back in there into the nostalgia areas of thing, I mean,
so yeah, so
where would you?
Madhouse has like the nostalgia factor, where.
But I mean, once you even go forward into that, there's still so many there's so many high notes that you hit.
Yeah.
See, they're the ones who did the original Claymore.
Yeah, that's what
we were just talking about. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, they did Nasu. Oh God. So I guess they're tied with Kyoto. Like I can't. I can't better than Kyoto because I finished more Kyoto shows.
Tenjo Tenge, Chobits,
Oh,
Gungrave, Gunslinger.
Yeah, so, God.
I will say in regards to it, and you probably nailed it too, is just going through here, there's just too many for me to ignore. And not to say that I don't love Kyoto's productions, because I mean, again, there's so many of them there that I love as well, but I gotta give it to Madhouse. I gotta say they gotta probably top my list as far as that goes.
Yeah, I would say
at least so far, looking at the ones we've talked about so far.
Yeah, I'll say if there's a date that we can like split it between modern and classic, I would say probably because Kyoto is a more recent studio. I would say as far as modern, Kyoto has it, and then as far as classic, Madhouse has it, hands down.
I'm just trying to see, like, as far back as they've gone, as Madhouse has gone, when did I get on? When did I jump on board with Madhouse? When did I first become aware of what Madhouse has done? Like the first anime to strike out at me.
I wish there was like.
Really? Oh wow! I didn't think about that one.
I wish all anime was available for streaming.
The
like,
first,
I'm gonna start in the 70s and just watch everything.
Okay, so the first movie I would say that they did that I recognize as an anime production was X.
Okay.
But the first animated series, so that was X, was done in 1996. First anime series I remember watching from them was Trigun back in 1998.
Okay. I might be the same.
So I go as far back as that with them.
Which makes sense because that's around the Toonami days.
Yeah. But see, I never watched it on Toonami. I watched Trigun on DVD.
Okay. Record of Lotus War, I think.
Yeah.
That's 90. But that probably didn't watch it in the 90s.
Where was that? What year was that released?
1990.
Oh, 1990?
But it's like when you watched it and when it was aired, it's kind of like different.
Oh, I didn't recognize the name. Oh, shoot. Oh, God, did I? No, I might not have. No, I don't think I did.
Oh,
I
they
probably.
did Birdie Decode? There's this one show called Tetsuan Birdie Decode. It's a remake of Tetsuan Birdie or a continuation. And
What year?
The original one came out in 96. I don't know. I passed up the remake of it. I don't know what year the remake was made because I've only seen the remake.
Oh, Birdie. That's right. I thought I knew that name.
Yeah, I think mine's Trigun as well. Speaking of Trigun, I've never seen the last 2 episodes.
You seriously? Oh my God! Shameful.
I don't know why.
Holy crap!
I think I missed it when it was airing, and I just never got around to it.
Damn.
I even watched the movie. I actually watched the movie as a world premiere at an anime convention.
You never watched. Oh my God. Oh, that is so much wrong. I don't even know where to begin on that.
Yeah,
that is so much wrong.
So it was Trigun, and then maybe a piece of Boogie Pop Phantom. And
oh Jesus!
Galaxy Angel.
Holy crap! All right. Well, anyways, I think we've nostalgic on this enough.
Yeah.
We're gotten way off the rails on this one now at this point.
Ever since you mentioned we should do like a studio episode, it's like every time we mention a studio, we start going into it. Yeah, so Sonny Boy.
I think we can move on to we're nearing the end. Let's move on.
So in the middle of a long summer vacation, Nagara and his friends are caught in a mysterious situation. Him and all his 36 classmates end up drifting into another dimension, acquiring mysterious powers in the process. What? Distrust, jealousy, and the conflicts start emerging among them as they disagree on how to use their powers or how to return to their original world. The boys and girls are suddenly thrown into a life of survival. Okay. As soon as they're like different dimensions, I'm like, okay, that makes sense, Madhouse. Yeah. That sounds. I'm very curious what Madhouse is going to do with this, especially with the style.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
We shall see. The next show we're going to be talking about is Tante wa mo shinderu. The detective is already dead. So, why is this not my list? Is this an action-packed detective show? Because I never ever finish detective shows. And this might be one that I finish. Or it'll be like that one where the guy might have been a monster and like the girl detective, like he ate like a big boar or something. I can't remember what the show was. But it started out really, really cool, and I just dropped it after the first episode. So maybe this one will do it. I have to be in the mood for a detective show. I don't really know what that mood is or what the show needs to do. Because like I finished shows like Daughter of 20 Faces, which is a show I keep bringing up. That was a detective, like, well, actually, that was more of like a magical caper, and like detectives were after them. I don't know. It's like the detective shows are like one of my weaker ones, but I'm like, I really hope one day I'll like find one that I'm like, I gotta watch everything. But yeah. So this one is done by Engie, which it is a new name that I'm starting to remember. I don't remember what they've done, but I recognize the name.
The Full Dive RPG.
Oh. Okay.
And Uzaki-chan wants to play.
Yeah.
Honestly, other than that, the only other one that's of note is the wrestler one.
Yeah.
They went to another
and
world.
They did Day Live 3. Did they take it over?
Don't know.
I mean, Show by Rock. Like, that might be another show they took over. And then Kantai Collection, which they take it over. That's interesting. The synopsis for this one is: the story follows Kimihiko Kimizuka, a young man who 4 years ago became the assistant of a mysterious detective known as Siesta. On a wait, no, not Siesta. That's a nap.
Siesta.
No, it is Siesta.
It is
right?
Siesta. Yeah, no, you're right. It's Siesta.
Why is her name Nap? It is afternoon nap.
She's very tired.
Jesus. Okay.
She's very tired.
Yeah, on a hijacked plane. Together, Kimihiko and Siesta went on a mind-boggling, globe-trotting adventures while combating a secret organization. But all of that came to an end when they were separated by Siesta's death. well, that's a spoiler. In the in present day, Kimihiko tries to return to an ordinary, boring life as a high school student, but things are never that simple, especially in anime. Even though,
Yeah.
even though the detective is already dead.
She's like, you look at this character. Go, you dare try to have a normal life in an anime? How dare you?
Especially after going through some traumatic trauma.
How dare you?
The story always finds a way to get to you.
The plot will always thicken.
So yeah, I will report on the first episode, and that'll probably be it. The next show we're gonna be talking about is Slime Season 2,
Part 2. Part 2 of season 2.
Yes.
Oh my god.
He's been upgraded like crazy.
Not only has he been upgraded, but as you see in the picture, the dragon's back.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I forgot what he looked like when the dragon transformed.
Yeah. He made a doppelganger clone or whatever.
Yeah.
And then was like, all right, put the spirit of the dragon, his form, in there, and that's what he's gonna have. And
like,
what ended up evolving, what ended up evolving was the blonde-haired guy. And I'm curious now, is he gonna be able to shape into a dragon? Is he going to be able to take his original form at all, and then like he can go back and forth between that or the other? I mean, I'm curious. Call me curious. Let me know.
Yeah, I can't wait. The dread is over, so now it's just awesome final battle.
God, that whole situation that can but I mean, we still have problems.
Yeah.
Because what's her name? And now we're having a direct confrontation with the Demon Lord.
Yeah, he seems very upset in the trailer.
So I mean, direct confrontation with him. What's her name from the that almost pretty much took out Rimuru, the Holy Knight or whatever.
Oh, that's right.
She's gonna be a thing that's gonna come back.
Oh, she's gonna be mad.
Well, see, the thing is one of the upgrades that he has is now against Holy. So now I'm like, all right, is she even going to be able to do anything against him? Or is now her abilities and attacks now going to be null and void?
So, I really wonder what's going to happen, because she was like very confident and executed it 99.9% correctly.
But is she going to be able to is her, how to put it, is she going to listen to Rimuru now in regards to what happened? You know what I mean?
That's right, because she was just focused on revenge.
Yep. That was her entire focus, was revenge. Because, I mean, and he has no room to talk, because, he can't necessarily explain, like, oh, I killed, yes, I did eat, I mean, he did do the thing. It's just there are more things involved with that she's not paying attention to.
Yeah. Ah, it's gonna be good.
So, I mean, yeah, no, I am totally hyped to see where this is gonna go. This probably would be my number one for this season. I mean, just purely based upon what I know, this and then Kobayashi would be right along behind that.
I was like, is Kobayashi above this one? I'm like,
Kobayashi would be right behind it. Yeah, I mean, I'm here. I'm here for it. I'm on board. So, let's see where this goes.
Yeah, I would say Kobayashi, Slime, and then like hesitantly Higurashi.
That's all you, man, on that one. That's all you.
Yeah. So if you haven't started Slime yet, go start Slime.
Get
now.
on it. Yeah. You will not regret it.
All right. The next show we're going to be talking about is Uramichi Onisan, or Life Lessons with Uramichi Onisan.
Just no. just no. I looked at just the freaking picture again on this, and I'm just like, I don't even need to read the synopsis on this one. This looks, and now that you told me what the actual name of that is, Life Lessons with Onisan, I'm like, if these are the life lessons, I don't want to be a part of that. Thank you very much.
So, why is this one on my list?
Please do tell. Please.
I think that the actors from this kids show are emotionally scarring these children.
Good answer. Good answer. Totally buy it. Totally believe it.
This show's done by Studio Blank, and before this, they have done Beachy Side. Like my girlfriend's a jerk. I don't remember what that is. And then like a 4-year gap, and it's like tiny girls playing basketball. And
I don't think we want to. We want to. Can we? We'll gloss over 2017. I'm. Gloss over it. Move on. No, not even. Not even gonna dignify it. No. 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 No.
the show every 4 years. I didn't even know what that thing in the middle was until you're like, let's gloss over it. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, yeah, what you say? But,
oh my god. The fact that there's bitch in the title of that one just. Is there. Alright, I may regret this. I'm probably gonna regret this. I am seriously gonna regret this. What the hell, 2017? What the hell were we doing back then? No, it seems ordinary. No, cute. No, yep, no, seems perfectly fine. She's confessed. Okay, cool. Yep. Typical story. Where is it gonna turn wrong? Why is there a banana there? Why is there a banana there? What is the theme with bananas?
the synonyms for this show are like all over the place.
Yeah. I can kind of tell why. Oh, now she's dark. Okay. Okay. And that's enough internet for me for today. Oh God.
Life lessons with Anissa. This story centers around 31-year-old man named Uramichi Umota, who has two sides of his personality. He appears as the young man in charge of physical exercises on the educational program Maman Together. Wait, Two Together. Okay. Although he has a fresh and upbeat demeanor on the show, he is actually emotionally unstable. The story reveals a less than sunny parts of life for a young adult.
Why are you having an emotionally unstable guy be around kids? Why? Don't you take like psychology tests when you have someone? And he's talking to the kids, and he's very dark right now. No. Oh, he's dragging Mr. Bunny out on stage. Mr. Bun Bun. Poor Mr. Bun Bun. Oh, he's just scarring those kids all over the place. Why would I not expect anything less from a studio who did what I saw before? So, nope, I'm good. I am completely okay.
So, yeah. Life lessons with Adisha. The next show we're going to be talking about is, and the last show is Vanitas no Carte, or the case study of Vanitas.
Okay, well, you know what? I was gonna ask, but I just read its bones.
Oh, it is bones.
That wasn't even a factor. What the hell?
We've been talking about Sunrise all this time.
So
and you weren't here, and now you're here.
Well, apparently this video is unavailable.
Oh, I think I googled the title and found it.
And it has no banner, and reminds me just from that picture of Count of Monte Cristo.
So, why did I put this on my list?
Yes, do tell.
Vampire anime. ... Let's try again.
You're more forgiving in that regards than I am.
Last season, I tried to watch a vampire show, and it ended up being a very old school military drama that was very, very slow.
Which one was that?
Ooh.
I'm thinking I know it. I just don't remember the name of it. I'm just trying to recall which one that was.
Let me see. Spring and spring. Man, Mars Red.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah. Because there was another vampire one where it was the guy went to like school and there was Frankenstein or something involved in that.
Hotel Transylvania.
Oh. I just remember watching like part of the first episode and being like, "Oh God, I'm tired of the enemies with vampires that are just like, oh, he's so sophisticated and regal and are you know, like they're making vampires out to be like especially when they put it in like a school setting, they're like the goody two shoe, like the ones that everyone wants to be with, sort of. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, no, I'm done with that. Can we not do that? Can we stop that, please? I'd like to stop that.
You're like, no more sparkly vampires. Vampires are the blood-sucking monsters that they should be.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't necessarily mind. Like, okay, if I were to have a vampire anime that I would enjoy watching, Okay, granted, I mean Helsing would have been one of the top ones, but
Oh,
even going like regal as far as that goes, I can even go as far as like Vampire Hunter D.
okay.
Like there's some regalness to that, but it's an aristocratic old school like put it in that time. Don't try to put it in our time because it just feels off.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
feels wrong.
Yeah.
You can't be the upper class aristocracies and be, at a high school eating lunch at the cafeteria with girls fawning over you because, oh, he's so regal. I'm like, oh my god, can we stop this already? Jesus Christ. This is how we got Twilight, okay? Let's stop this. No. I'm tired of it. If you're gonna go the aristocracies route, fine. Then give me freaking put it in the appropriate time frame.
Yes.
If you're not gonna go the aristocracies route and you're gonna go like the um, Helsing route, fine. Put it in modern time. But don't no. I guess I guess I have a certain standard, and I have yet to come across one that really meets that standard.
Okay.
But regardless, anyways, again, looking at this one, even before you said vampire, I'm looking at like the look of the guys here, and I'm like, oh, God, this is the upper aristocracies. I swear to God, if we go back in, like we're like, oh, hey, look, they're they're trying to live high school life. It's like, no, stop it. No, it's creepy and weird. They're like hundreds of years old.
Take off that giant bow tie. This is 2020.
Or at least own it, be like flaunt it, and be like, know that you're looking weird or whatever. I don't know. It's yeah.
The synopsis for this one is rumors revolving around the Book of Vanitas, a clockwork grimoire of dubious reputation. Draw Noe, a young man. This sentence has like 8 commas in it. A young vampire in search of a friend's salvation to Paris. What awaits him in the city of flowers, however, is stop. Goddamn commas. Jesus, this 3-paragraph long thing is like 2 sentences. Um, what awaits him in the city of flowers, however, is not long hours treading the pavement or rifling through the bookshops in search of the tome. Instead, his quarry comes to him in the arms of a man claiming to be his vampire doctor. Thrust into a conflict that threatens the peace between humans and vampires, will Noe cast in his lot with the curious and slightly unbalanced Vanitas and his quest to save vampire kind? The synopsis makes me want to watch it, and I mean the trailer makes me want to watch it, and the synopsis makes me not want to watch it.
Oh shit.
So I'm officially on the fence with this show.
See, like I said, you were like, "Oh, vampire show. Yeah, I give it a shot," and I'm like, "You're way more trusting and forgiving when it comes to that than I feel like I ever will be." I just, even if it being Bones, I'm still just looking at going, "Come on, guys, let's do better with this."
Actually, I'm back on the Bones Vampires. Those 2 words. I'm like, that'll tip the scales.
You're hoping. You're hoping. You're like, come on, Bones, pull it out. Come on, you can do it. Come on, Bones.
Oh, that's right.
Well, Bones is sitting there going, I will try, man. I don't know, man. It's
Like,
vampires.
we'll try, but we have some shows you don't like. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What shows did I not finish, even though they came back like 3 times during the podcast? Kekai Sensen. I'm like, oh man, you're right.
Oh shit.
We shall see.
Kekai Sensen, Bungo Stray Dogs.
Oh God, no! Stop.
Did you ever go through Eureka 7?
I haven't started it.
Oh shit. All series that they've done multiple iterations for. Noragami?
Ah, no.
All shows I've watched all multiple iterations for. Oh shit. Yeah.
It's looking worse and worse.
Hero Man?
I saw the first episode of that one. I'm like, man, oh, this is cool. And I did not watch not another episode.
Oh. Okay, I'll give you did watch Soul Eater. I know that.
Oh, I didn't watch Soul Eater, not because it's not Soul Eater.
Well, no, I'm just saying you watched the original Soul Eater though.
Yeah. Mob Psycho thing.
Huh. So I mean, if you don't include those animes in the ring of
all those greatest hits that everybody loves,
greatest hits and multiple iterations for, and we avoid those and don't remember that those exist.
Chika.
Wait, they're coming out with a Eureka 7 movie this year? Oh my god, I thought we were done.
Oh.
And they're coming out with a Godzilla. Why? Why have you stepped in? Okay, see, now here's a bad mark. Why have they stepped into the whole? They went for the Netflix money and are producing a Godzilla anime for Netflix. Why? One, why Godzilla? Two, why did you freaking go for Netflix?
You don't like Godzilla?
It's like video game anime.
Yeah.
It's like video game anime. I mean, I appreciate that it exists for those that watch it, but it's never anything amazing. And just looking at the trailer for it, it's all fucking CGI.
Ah, that's right.
No, I'm just saying, all the monsters are CGI.
Okay.
Which makes it worse because it's just the monsters. Everything else is actually normal. So, anyways, okay, enough of that. I'm done with that. I'm so far done with that. So.
All right. Well, that was the 19 shows we had for this upcoming season. Check out. We will be back on 27th. Hopefully everything finishes.
Of June. Wow. We're already almost halfway through the year.
Oh my God.
You didn't think about that, did you?
What a year this has been.
Halfway through the year.
Ugh.
We're what, 2 days away from hitting June 1st?
Oh my God.
Yippers.
Well, actually, July 1st would be second half.
Well, yeah. But I mean, still, that's like, I mean, by the time we do the next podcast, that'll be
Yeah.
within 4 days of the
Yeah.
end of the year, or the middle of the year.
Yeah.
Middle of the year, man.
It's so weird. It's like I feel like time is not going anywhere, but then you look at the calendar and you're like, oh my god.
Time is just going by. Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, on that merry little note.
Yeah. We will be back on the 27th talking about the shows that we finished this season.
Oh god, there's some good ones.
Yeah. I gotta get back on that grind because I am behind.
That's okay, because that means when you actually catch back up, you'll miss out on the oh, there's a cliffhanger ending. Oh, it's a cliffhanger ending. You'd be like, nope, I got plenty of episodes to keep going. Let's go. Come on, let's do it. Move along.
Yeah. The way I watch stuff now, I don't have to worry about cliffhangers. Unless, like, the episode airs every Monday, and, like, the finale episode is going to be on the 28th. And I'll be like, no!
No, don't do that.
But, yeah. So, that is it for today's episode. As always, this is DK and Psycho from TacoYaki Anime. Thank y'all for watching. Thanks for hanging out in chat. Thanks for supporting the channel in any way that you do. And we will see y'all next time.